Hiya, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
You want to go do a podcast?
Sure.
Jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, mini dolls and Technic, minifigures of all ages, and everyone else, welcome to Binging Barbie. I'm your host, John, blah blah blah, proper noun, place name, podcast introduction stuff. Did you get all that, Jay?
I think I got it, but just in case, tell me the whole thing again. I wasn't listening.
Ugh. Anyway, this is a podcast about toy media franchises, 2000s nostalgia, and whatever else we want to talk about. And this week we are here to talk about the first theatrically released Lego movie, the Lego Movie. And to help us do that, we've called in a couple guests from across the multiverse. He only works in black, and sometimes very, very dark gray. Toa!
First try.
And Sam, where are my pants?
I mean, hopefully you're wearing them.
Fingers crossed on that
Fingers
one.
crossed. It is also very funny because you are wearing black, Toa.
Well, okay. To be fair, it is very dark shades of gray. But
It looks like black. There's multiple. Okay, it's like it looks like you're backstage.
true.
So yeah, Sam and Toa, I guess we should start with our icebreaker question. What is your familiarity, your history with Lego as a brand, and then maybe also the Lego movie itself?
Yeah. So for those that didn't catch the other Bionicle podcasts,
Yeah,
go check those out. Those are very important to the lore of this movie. So go watch all of those. I'll do it's a deep dive breakdown of all of the Bionicle parts. Very crucial for the entire Bionicle segment of this movie.
Yes.
No, I've been a Lego fan my whole life, specifically Bionicle, but it's hard to not like Lego. And I watched this movie in theaters probably multiple times when it first came out in 2014, and just been in and around Lego communities before and since. So yeah,
same here. Highly into Lego as a kid. Like, first video games I really super got into was like Lego Star Wars, Lego Indiana Jones, all that for like the GameCube, the Wii. I mean, they were on every platform because they were appealing to all children everywhere. Lego Batman was a good one.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, just lots of Lego in my house currently. I think we had our first Legos that we had in my family was like just a bin that like some family was selling, and my parents were like, oh yeah, Lego, like that's perfect for our kids. And this family had a dog named Barkley. And every so often, as we were like going through the Lego bin, we would find a piece that had like clearly been chewed on. And I just have these distinct memories of like going through these bins, like searching for pieces with my sister, and we'd find a piece that would chewed on, and we'd hold it up and we'd look at each other and just go, Barkley, and shrug and throw it back in the bin.
Yeah, I feel like inheriting the like big case of Lego is a common experience. That's what we had. We had Duplo as well before that. Yeah, have continued to do Lego. Yeah, I remember going to see the Lego movie when it came out with my dad and my sisters and having a great time. We actually saw the Spanish dubbed version because that was the only one available. And I remember that because I remember thinking when I then watched the English language dub that the voices were all wrong. Especially like I was like, Wild Style, her voice is like too high, and Princess Unikitty, her voice is like a little too deep. They're like a little too close together, whereas in the Spanish dub, Wild Style has a deeper voice, and the Princess Unikitty is very high. And
yeah.
The other thing is we were talking with, this is spoilers for the plot description, but the Craggle in Spanish was translated as El Pegamento, So we were talking to my uncle who
Oh.
had seen it,
Mm.
and he was like, "Oh yeah, I thought it was so funny that they were talking about the Craggle and you didn't know what the Craggle was." You're like, "What?
Mhm.
What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
They said it's the glue right away.
Yeah. That's one of those like translation things where it's like, oh yeah, how do you do something like that? Because it's so clearly based off of like the Warren label on the tube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I also remember seeing this one in the theater. I think when the first trailer dropped, I was like, okay, sure. And then like the second trailer dropped and I was like, yeah, okay, I can get into this. And then I like ended up watching it in the theater like shortly after it came out. It also like
Yeah.
it was interesting because it feels like I was about like slightly above the target demographic for this movie, but also like as the person who had like grown up playing with Lego, it was very like, oh yeah, this is still like pretty fun. Like most of the jokes here do hit for me, but then there are some things where I'm like, I'm a teenager and that joke was dumb, you know.
Yeah.
I remember hearing when it came out just reports that like a lot of parents who are taking their kids were actually less engaged with the film than the parents.
Mm.
I think just because it's so heavy on references. And
Yeah,
then
well,
also
this
it's like
whole
so
movie is
fast
like playing
paced.
off of nostalgia and references, and
Yeah.
if you don't get those, like, it's not. I mean, sure, the like you're gonna sing everything is awesome. You're gonna laugh at Where Are My Pants, but like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
I think it's
it's
oh go ahead.
it's definitely one of those movies or like media in general that is like written for the parents, knowing that the children are just going to watch it anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or like
But like,
the
I will say, there's enough like physical comedy in this that I think, like younger children especially, like they won't catch the bigger jokes, but they'll see Emmett falling down a cliff and hitting 20 things as he goes and laugh hysterically at that.
yeah, that's fair.
Well, yeah, speaking of the writers, I should give some context here. So this was released February 7, 2014. Kind of an odd release date for a kids film. Warner Brothers actually didn't have much confidence in it. They sold off a bunch of the like profit participation to other studios
Oh,
because they thought it
interesting.
wasn't going to make money, and then it made a whole bunch of money. And then
Yeah.
Warner Brothers was like, "Oh, we didn't get any of that money. Guess we need to make a bunch of sequels." That's also interestingly what happened with Joker. If you're wondering why they were so gung ho about getting a Joker sequel out in
Ah,
theaters, um, yeah, they saw like none of the profits of
and
that.
much like Joker 2, the Lego Movie 2 absolutely flopped. Uh,
Yep. Well, we will be talking about that soon in a couple episodes here. But yeah, this was directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who I would say are quietly two of the most consequential Hollywood filmmakers of the last 15 years. They
Hmm.
started out as the creators of Clone High, but then directed Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, 21 Jump Street. They were on the Solo, a Star Wars story film before they got kicked off. They have the upcoming Project Hail Mary, and then they wrote and
ooh.
produced the Spider-Verse movies.
There is some of the animation here is very akin to like some of the Spider-Verse stuff. Like it's before,
Yeah.
but like there was some of the like vision sequences I was like, "Oh, this feels like that."
Yeah, and I don't know, like, because the Spider-Verse movies are very collaborative from what I understand between the directors and the producers.
Right.
Hmm.
So it doesn't surprise me that there's artistic crossover there.
Well, and I think visually they're both very similar in that they both are like playing up stylism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And really like representing the media of each of the franchises really, really well
Mhm.
with
yeah,
going like full into like these are Legos. We want everything to look stop motion versus Spider-Verse trying to make everything look like it's ripped from a comic book page.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's very fascinating to look because they aren't often talked about in this sense. But I do think, like, especially the Lego movie, if the Lego movie hadn't been a success, the number of movies that then wouldn't have gotten made.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm not entirely confident that Greta
Yeah.
Gerwig's Barbie would exist without the Lego movie, and it would certainly look very different.
Yeah, and
Um,
like I don't know, I also like even when I like as a child walking out of the theater this is who I was as a 15-year-old. I watched that and I was like, look, this made me feel good, but also it was kind of just like a big advertisement for Lego, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is kind of part of the thing of this podcast being about toy movies and media franchises. So yeah, we'll maybe get into that a little later. But yeah, this is written by Phil Lord and Chris Miller with story credit to the Hagman brothers, who were writers on the Lego Ninjago series, the TV show, and also did work for Hotel Transylvania and Star Trek Prodigy, all sort of animated projects, but they are coming from a Lego background as well. And then we have music by Mark Mothersbaugh, who we talked about recently on this podcast, is the composer of a Minecraft movie. Another project that kind of feels the Jared Hess one.
No, I well, yes. No, everyone calls it the Minecraft movie, even though it's a Minecraft movie. But I was making.
I wanted to get that correct since
no,
you had,
I know.
He called me out on that.
At the last second, they were like, but what if we want to make more? It can't be the one. We have to. It can be a Minecraft movie. They're going to call the second one another Minecraft movie.
They probably will, won't they?
I hate that I spoke.
That's
that
a fun
existence.
title. That's a fun title.
Yeah, it's a very like Dr. Seuss. Like, I don't know. That feels like the Cat in the Hat comes back or whatever.
Minecraft Red, Minecraft Blue, Minecraft. Anyway,
sure.
So the Lego movie. Warner Brothers executives Kevin Sugihara was interested in making a Lego movie as far back as like 2008. This was after the company acquired Traveler's Tales. They're of course the producers of a bunch of the Lego video games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it took him a few years to convince Lego of the idea. So the Hagman brothers did an initial pass on the script, and then Lord and Miller were brought in 2010, and the film was greenlit a year later. And yeah, Warner contracted Australian animation studio Animal Logic to do the animation. They're most known for Happy Feet and The Legend of the Owls, Guardians of Ga'Hoole. Except not that one, because that's not the title.
No.
The actual title is The Legend of Ga'Hoole, Owls of the Guardians. But it's not, because you can replace any noun in that title with any other noun, and it will make about the same sense.
It's like the James Bond movie title thing of like, oh, this one's like Quantum of the Spectre.
Solace?
Or
Yeah.
no, that's a real James Bond movie title.
Okay,
I was trying to make a new one.
I think there is a randomizer out there that I played around with.
Yeah,
that
probably.
Was doing weird title, weird movie, Zack Snyder movie. Anyway, the Lego movie.
All right, so the plot summary goes kind of like this. So, Emmett is a construction worker living in the Lego city of Brickburg. And one day after work, he sees a woman sneaking around the construction site. He goes to investigate, but falls down a hole where he comes across a strange brick. He wakes up in the police station, the brick stuck to his back, and he's rescued by Wild Style, the woman from before, who reveals the truth. Brickburg is one of several Lego realms ruled by the evil Lord Business. And Lord Business plans to use an artifact known as the Craggle, which is actually a bottle of crazy glue, to impose order on the world. The piece stuck to Emmett's back is the top of the crazy glue bottle. As the one who found the piece, Emmett is the special, foretold to be the most important person in the universe. And Emmett is confused, but likes the idea of being important, so he follows Wildstyle. And Wildstyle quickly realizes that Emmett isn't nearly as special as she first assumed, but reluctantly takes him to meet the Master Builders, led by Vitruvius. And the police follow them and attack the hideout of the Master Builders, taking most into custody. Emmett, Wildstyle, Vitruvius, and a handful of others escape by hiding in Emmett's double-decker couch. And the group realized that since Emmett doesn't think like the other Master Builders, he might actually be able to stop Lord Business after all. Emmett comes up with a plan to sneak into Lord's Business office building. They almost manage to put the top of the crazy glue on, but they are caught. And Lars Business throws the piece into the infinite void and kills Vitruvius. And as he dies, Vitruvius reveals to Emmett that he made up the prophecy about the special, but that nevertheless, Emmett has the skills to stop Lord Business if he can believe in himself. And so Emmett jumps after the piece and wakes up in the real world, where he sees that the story thus far has been told in the imagination of Finn, a kid playing with his dad's elaborate Lego displays. So Will Ferrell comes downstairs and is angry to find his son has messed up with the sets, so he starts gluing them together. And Emmett wills himself to fall off a table, getting Finn's attention. And Finn sends him back into the Lego world to defeat Lord Business. And as Emmett confronts Lord Business, Finn's dad notices all the creative things his son has made. The two have a heart to heart, and Finn's dad decides it is okay for Finn to play with the Legos. And in the Lego world, Lord Business changes his mind and puts the top on the crazy glue. Everyone celebrates until Finn's dad tells Finn that if he's allowed to play with the Legos, so is his little sister. And in the Lego world, a bunch of Duplo constructions appear and threaten to destroy everyone.
Whoa, that was such a good plot summary. I don't want to say that. I don't know how I feel about it.
John, what did you think of the story?
Yeah, I think the story it's very simple. It follows a lot of very recognizable stories, tropes and plots. Like the chosen one or the good versus evil. The simple ideas like that. That they work well enough in other stuff, and I think it works pretty well here. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to The Matrix. Taking a lot of plot elements from that, and then also kind of have the themes of Speed Racer, so another Wachowski film that it's
they should have just gotten the Wachowskis to do the Lego movie. Like,
honestly, that would have been cool.
I don't know if they would have done Emmett is a trans woman. This is a story much like oh boy, I Saw the TV Glow, which is about cracking an egg. No, specifically the moment that made me write that down was when Emmett first sees Wildstyle and she like takes down her hood and he's like, whoa. And it's like, yeah, you've been following the instructions, but now you're seeing a beautiful woman and you're like, I want to be that.
I do think it is like this plot structure in general does map very well onto a whole lot of different experiences. Which is why it is kind of a common plot structure. I do think it is like the film is smart enough to turn it into something that works specifically with Lego in terms of like following the instructions versus being creative. And then this bigger thing of like art and creativity in opposition to paternalistic authoritarian systems.
I also think that the opening line being "He is coming, cover your butt" is just like such a perfect like tonal indicator for this movie. Like on the one hand, we're going to treat it extremely seriously, and on the other hand, we will laugh along the way. Like that opening moment, I was like, this is exactly what this movie is.
And to have Morgan Freeman dressed as a hippie as a Lego figure to do that line, like the combination of the two and holding the two, and it holds the two very well. I hadn't really thought of that until you brought it up, but it does effectively do both the comedy and the big stakes.
I was fun. Most of the like cast of this movie I instantly recognized by their voices. I did
pretty big names.
I did pick the wrong Irishman. I did think the cop was Sean Bean until I saw the credits. And at the very beginning, before I clocked that it was Will Ferrell, I thought that Lord Business was Paul Rudd.
Oh, yeah, that would be like a couple of years later, I think.
Yeah,
that would be the type of thing he might do.
I mean, he was doing Parks and Rec like at that time. Like, I don't think he was doing like voice roles, but I also
I
like
just
this is
meant
the
more. He's like bigger after Ant-Man than he was
yeah.
before.
I
Not that he
also
wasn't big
Yeah.
before.
think
I guess he's only bigger after Civil War because in Ant-Man he's just
haha
getting
yeah
smaller.
yep good joke.
True.
I'm trying to the story. Yeah, I think the turn of actually anyone could be the chosen one, and the existence of the prophecy is really what mattered. Is a bit more complex, but I really agree with John that like this is a pretty simple story. And while it is a simple story, this film makes up for it with heart and earnestness.
Yeah.
Like it never really feels like we're doing a bit here with the story, which I think you have to in order to have a successful movie, when the plot is this um, simple.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a parody of Chosen One movies, even though it is a
Right.
very funny movie. That stuff is done with sincerity,
Well,
and
and
then the jokes are put on top of that framework.
yeah, and even with like Chosen One stuff at this point, like Chosen One's so established, you just need to like have a few indicators in there, and everyone's like, ah, yes, I understand. This is a Chosen One story.
Yeah,
We will have the mentor. We will have the ally who is sad that they're not the chosen one. We will have, of course, the uh, evil man. We will have the parade of
Yeah.
cats. That classic
You know,
chosen
I
one
will
story
say,
element.
like the story for this pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but also like I think this, because Lego Movie was, I think, so like inspirational for the industry as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Like besides, I'm just trying to like rack my brain immediately for like children's films of the time. Like Kung Fu Panda is the only one that I remember doing something similar to this, where like, you know, they have a chosen one thing and it plays out in a way where it's like, well, maybe you are the chosen one, maybe you're not. Of course the sequels build on that, but
yeah,
um
It's
for
like
this one it was like, when it came out, it is very like cliche, it's very like straightforward, but also it wasn't, I don't think, as overused as it is now with
right.
a lot of the story elements.
I mean,
yeah.
it's like they're going back to the building blocks of stories, right? Like yeah, go back to the bare essentials and build it from there, right?
It
Yeah.
is this interesting thing of, because I can imagine, you know, this didn't go through as many writers as like the Minecraft movie did, or that one they were just
Mm,
trying to figure out for a decade
mm-hmm.
and bringing in new people. And there are credited for additional screenplay materials. There are like 23 people credited on that movie,
I mean,
just because they were bringing in new people and trying to figure it out. But here, even with Lego, it's like, how do you make a Lego movie? And the way you do it is, oh, let's just do a relatively simple story and
mm-hmm.
do it well enough. And I think that happens a lot. There's like Prey, the recent Predator movie,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh, what if we just made like a good Predator movie? You don't have to figure or like anguish about how do we include the lore and the stuff, how do we build the characters. What if you just make one good movie and then let everything else sort itself out?
I think cleverly too, this movie, like, it's very tropey. It's very cliche, very
Yep.
tropey. It doesn't do that in a way that is like making fun of most of the tropes. It's like taking those tropes and sincerely like taking a crack at it, even if they're like, okay, we will play this up for comedy, but we're not saying that this trope is bad. We're not trying to be satirical about it. We are enjoying the trope and enforcing it through a child's perspective of, yeah, if you're a kid, you're gonna create a little storyline that is very high in tropey elements and like lots of drama and just things that you've picked up from watching TV or shows that your parents put on that you don't fully understand, but you know make for compelling stories. I think that is probably the single most clever part of this film, is taking it and giving the audience the reveal that, oh, this is not just like a story that we threw together. Well, it is a story that they threw together, but like it's not just, we're not saying that this is how this happens in every Lego universe. It's like, no, this is a kid playing with Legos, and this is how he's trying to deal with his emotions around his relationship with his father.
Right.
Uh,
Well, I also think like the tropiness of the story to me also landed the way that like all of the different references landed to me. It's like, yes, Shaquille O'Neal is here, and yes, also there is a chosen one, right? Like in the same way
Yeah.
that I was like, heck yeah, it's Superman. I was like, oh, I know this story trope,
yeah.
and that is the entertaining the part to me of this movie is like all of the little um different properties that of course all show up. Now it is interesting as an adult watching this, I'm like, yes, these are all properties that Warner Brothers has the rights to make.
Yeah, for
Except
the
for
most part,
Star
there's
Wars,
yeah.
which Star Wars showed up right at about the point that I was like, it is weird there's no Star Wars in this movie. And then there were now I will tell you the Star Wars in this movie is Lando and Han Solo and C3PO, which are not like super big Star Wars characters, but
I
they
mean
are.
Han Solo.
Yeah, Han Solo, but it's not Luke or Anakin or Yoda or right like.
True.
It is they actually were worried about including that because this was around the time they were making this was when Disney was acquiring
Yeah, because this is
Lucasfilm.
right before the sequel
Oh,
trilogy, or that was
Yeah.
what
So they
2017.
had to 2015 was Force
Thank you.
Awakens.
Yeah,
Um so yeah, the next year. But yeah, no, you are 100% right that they are doing mainly Warner Brothers properties. Yeah, this is
was
sort of
but
an
wait, are
early
Ninja
example
Turtles
of like
Warner Bros? I
I
think the Ninja
I
Turtles
yeah,
actually
because
are Warner Brothers.
they're
Yeah,
New
yeah.
Line Cinema does the movies. But yeah, this is
mm,
an early example of like the what I've termed the IP blockbuster,
Yeah, Space
which
Jam.
is
sure.
yeah,
Yep.
where you take a whole bunch of recognizable things
I
and
mean,
smash them all together.
you say early example, but like Space Jam existed. Who
Well,
Killed Roger Rabbit also
yeah,
existed. Like,
early example of like the modern
sure,
iteration
yeah,
of that.
Yeah.
You have like Ready Player One, Space Jam: A New Legacy. I I think this film strikes a really good balance that a lot of the other examples don't. Where like there are these elements that they're bringing in these references, but they don't really overwhelm the narrative. I think like
Yeah.
yeah,
Space Jam: A New Legacy feels like an ad for Warner Brothers and their properties, and stuff like the Droogs from A Clockwork Orange showing up, and like those are characters most well known for assaulting and murdering a woman on screen, and they're watching and cheering on the basketball game in Space Jam: A New Legacy. It's like, did we think this through? And even like the Lego
Yeah.
Batman movie falls into this thing of being more interested in bringing in outside characters rather than focusing on the narrative in the story as it exists. I think the Lego Batman is a little more successful than Space Jam: A New Legacy, but I'll talk about that
I am
next week.
curious. I haven't seen the Lego Batman movie, and I should at some point because
You should.
it does seem actually enjoyable, and it is an example of a good Batman movie, by which I mean Robin exists in it. So,
Yep.
True.
listen, I liked Robert Pattinson in the Batman, but I watched that movie and went, I never want to see another Batman movie without a Robin in it.
I he that would be I hope the next one gives him a Robin if they make another one.
I don't think they're gonna make another one with Robbie P. I think
Yeah.
Sean Gunn is rebooting all of DC
It's
to.
technically in development.
Hey, I hope it's not in development hell because I would love to see another movie with Robert Pattinson as Batman
Oh, he is
as
so
long as
good
Robin's
as
in it.
Batman. Yeah. But yeah, this thing of like these movies that are taking
Yeah.
all of these different things and like smashing them together.
Well,
I
I
think
also
like
think
Lego as well.
yeah, I think the Lego movie also like succeeds because it's like here's like going through the plot, it's like we get to Cloud Cuckoo Land and it's which in my notes I have written down Cloud Cuckoo Land is Mabel Land but built in Lego, for all the Gravity Falls fans out there. But like
True.
it truly is just like here's the part where we're going to do all the cameos, and then they'll still be around for the rest of the movie, but like it's not a focus as much anymore. And I
Yeah.
did appreciate that.
Yeah, Ready Player One is I'm going to be rewatching it because I'm doing a watch through of all of Spielberg's films, and that's weirdly a Steven Spielberg film.
Oh, interesting.
So I feel like it
Yeah.
must be more intelligent about things than I remember it being. But I just remember it being sort of this like cavalcade of, and even like the plot of the story is like, oh yeah, the main character knows 80s media. That means he's the best person in the entire world.
Yeah, but also that's the book, right? Like that's not
Yeah, yeah.
like
And the movie has like a half-hearted at the end of like, oh, you shouldn't play so many video games.
right.
But we just watched a whole movie about how a guy who was good at video games and knew all of the 80s references was the best person in the entire world. So
And really
it
what you
lands a
should be
little
watching
off.
is a movie about how a guy who knows a lot about video games is actually maybe not a great person. So this is my plug for Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes,
A good movie about being
this
an adult.
feels the Lego movie feels very like it is taking, or not necessarily even taking. I mean, it might be taking inspiration. It feels like it's taking inspiration from Scott Pilgrim, just in terms of the comedy beats
Yeah,
and the
Mhm.
I see
references.
it.
But yeah, Scott Pilgrim is a bit more critical
Yeah, well,
when
yeah,
like,
the point of Scott Pilgrim, which I did not get when I watched it about the same age that I watched this for the first time, is that Scott's not a good guy. And
yeah,
Ramona's
Yep.
not a good person either. And I think I watched it as a high schooler and went, "Oh yeah, this is super cool. I want to be just like these people." And now as an adult, I watch that. I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is a comic and movie and video game about how being a young adult is awful, and none of these people are good people."
True.
yeah. The Lego movie has played that a little more surface level,
Yes.
but I do think it lands very well, just because it has that sincerity and it's treating these things
Yeah.
seriously, and then also having fun. Like it knows when to do which, and it hits that balance.
Yeah. Do you
And yeah,
guys?
it's like all of the, oh,
I was just
go
gonna say,
ahead,
do
go
you guys
ahead.
think that the robots in this movie are a metaphor?
How
The
so?
micromanagers.
Yeah, well, no, but like the minifigure robots that are all serving Lord
Uh,
Business. I was like, is this a metaphor? I don't know.
I assume that they were like playing on the joke of like corporate drones
Right,
of
which
like
but also like it's that's the irony, right? Is that it's business is the villain here, but also the whole movie is an advertisement for Lego because it's about
Oh yeah,
building warm feelings that you associate with a
true.
toy brand.
that's the thing with these, like this one and the Barbie movie, both being like taking a critical eye towards business, but then also being these very corporate movies
Yeah,
that are literally just advertisements. I mean, Barbie, I was seeing when the movie came out that like the effects of the Barbie movie on Barbie as a brand are thought to like boost sales for the next 10 years.
right. Well, it's almost
Mm.
it's almost like I'm watching Andor now, like a real good show. It is corporate media,
Yeah.
and it's not, fully anti-corporation, but it is very similar to like reading Marvel comics right now, where a bunch of the stories that I'm reading are like anti-corporation, and it's like, yeah, really, the Disney machine doesn't care what stories people are making as long as it is generating IP from which we will have Marvel movies for the next 40 years,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting that people talk about especially the Lego movie as an ad for toys, when as you bring up like Star Wars movies are also ads for toys.
Right.
True.
But
They don't feel like that in the way that the Lego movie does, but that is like
that's
a
the
lot
way
of
that
movies
everything
out
is
there are,
integrated
yeah.
now. Yeah.
Pokemon games, those are ads for toys.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, just like the way, and I mean, Disney as a company has especially moved towards like now they basically don't make movies that are not ads for toys,
Right.
um, which is a little disappointing because they aren't putting out stuff that they could be putting out. But yeah, it is like the double-edged sort of, these movies are really good, but that also they exist to sell stuff. Yeah, the tension at the center of this podcast, you could say, is dealing with the media while also being cognizant of it as like a corporate product that is meant to boost sales.
Well, and the other irony that gets into that specifically is when you have like the ending scene where it's like where they're like, hey everyone, build what you want and like take back our town, right? A lot of those Lego sets, like a lot of those creations that those people are making, were released as Lego sets that you could build as either the normal thing or the like cool thing that they made. But that cool thing that they made, they follow like you follow the instructions to build that, right? Like it's and that is, I think, the irony for me is like that scene of the movie is about like, well, stop following the instructions and build what you want to, and then it's like, well, but here's a set that you could buy with instructions for how to build that cool thing.
I am curious because I think it works really well in the film as like this metaphor for art versus control. I do like watching it back now. I'm like, when I build Lego sets, I build them by the instructions because I'm generally building them to display them. Like, am I president business? Not in the like evil authoritarian way, but in the I build my Lego sets based on the instructions, not to play with them, but to have in my home.
It's also very funny with the Pride Lego set in the background of your.
Yes.
It's like it's sitting there. You followed the instructions to build it.
Yep.
I think too, like this is also a big commentary on like childhood versus being an adult, and like looking at the brand of Lego, especially in the last few years, they've been releasing a lot more adult marketed sets. Sets like the Eye of Sauron, which is like not a set that a kid could buy easily, and is a bunch of pieces and is a reference to a movie that maybe not a lot of children have seen, but is very well sold because a lot of adults love that franchise, and the set is really, really cool.
Well, even the like Infinity Gauntlet, like there are Lego sets now that are made to be displayed, whether it's like the Clone Trooper helmet or the Darth Vader helmet or the like Kingfisher bird build, you know, like that's
or even all the flowers, like
and to this
botanical
movie,
sets.
which like I love having plants in my home. I don't have to water. But like even the like, I think the movie like hit at the perfect time for Lego too, though, because like when this movie came out, it was like just at the end of like all of the original, like, because Lego used to have so many like original properties that are barely touched on in this movie, right? Like there's no like power miners in this movie, there's no Mars mission in this movie, there's no like Nexo Force or whatever the like anime mech inspired one like theme that I'm forgetting was. Bionicle is Bionicle gets a cameo, and as a teen watching this movie in the theater, I had the biggest pop of like that's sorry, that's a wrestling term for like when a wrestler walks out and everyone's like, yeah, that was me. But like
that single frame of Bionicle in this movie.
But like there's very little of the original like Lego themes in here, which I think also would have like been cool and made me happy to watch as a kid watching these, to be like, oh yeah, I would have had like, oh yeah, I recognize that, I have that set at home, you know.
Yeah, it's this interesting thing, and I think it reflects a shift in Lego as a brand at this exact moment, that they're moving away from Lego as a thing in and of itself and into Lego as an extension of other brands. And then especially with their display sets, it's become even more so, where it's like, hey, what fan media can we make? And it's odd because it is like we are the generation that Lego grew up with.
It really does feel like Lego grew up with me, and I don't like that. Like I want to like I want to go to the toy store and see like a bunch of like unique Lego, right? I don't want to like see Lego and be like, oh yeah, Marvel movie, Star Wars, oh here's a cool, and then there are like the cool, like I do enjoy the botanical sets and and everything else. But it is just like, man, these aren't toys anymore in some way.
Yeah, with the exception, I will give them credit for they included the Green Ninja from Ninjago.
Yes,
And of course, they
yes.
went on later to do the Ninjago movie. And I think Ninjago, in and of itself, is a really good success story within Lego that
Yeah.
kind of it carries the Bionicle torch more than other Bionicle-esque properties did.
Yes.
Especially, you know, taking their main head writer, Greg Farshty, into the Ninjago series. But it was good to see that inclusion here, even if he's just kind of there, mentioned once and is more of a background character. But it was good to see him in this film.
Well, and I think too, like when we talked about like making this movie this movie being made for adults, right? Like adults are going to get the references to Star Wars, to Superman, to other properties in a way that they might not necessarily get, like, oh, Mars Mission, oh, Space Police, you know.
And even like the stuff like Benny with his little like
Yes,
broken helmet
but
thing, which
that's
is a
classic 80s Lego set, right? Like that's
Yeah.
the Legos that my dad played with.
Yeah. It feels very similar to Greta Gerwig's Barbie film in that the references it is making are either stuff from when Greta Gerwig was playing with Barbies or like more current references where there's like a little chunk missing of when the filmmaker was too old to play with Barbies, but before she was thinking of making a Barbie movie. John, I know, was very disappointed that there were no references to the animated Barbie movies, which he had just watched all of those and then went to see the live action Barbie. And
well, I mean, that was kind of the premise for this show. Like,
yeah. But yeah, it is this like interesting thing of, yeah, all of the references are either like older references or other franchises coming in.
Okay, like even the Octan stuff, like there's been Lego stuff with Octan, the company, like it's a fake Lego company, right?
Yeah.
Like
so.
That's been printed for a while. I'm gonna find out. Someone's gonna be like, Octan's a real company, and I'm gonna be like, oh crap! I just assumed Lego made it up.
They've been sponsoring Lego for years.
They make good stuff.
Yeah, this is just a random thought, but kind of related. I do find it interesting that they visit a Western world.
Yes.
And that's not a thing that Lego is associated with as a brand. It's mainly fantasy or space or city are their big like themes.
Yeah.
But that feels to be like a movie thing of like this is a film reference rather than a Lego thing.
Yeah,
and I think that section is a lot of fun.
That section was a lot of fun, but I'm now thinking about like if they had been doing it, like I would have enjoyed it more if it had been like a Mars Mission like saloon or whatever, right? Like if that was like a specific Lego theme that was not a licensed property, I think I would have enjoyed it more. Even if it was just like Lego City, well, although that's too close to the...
It does look like there were a few Lego Western sets released from 1996 to 1997 and then re-released in 2002. So it looks like there is like precedent for it. It just is a very short-lived series.
Yeah. And it makes sense because like kids,
a lot of re-releases.
Kids these days being like anytime after the 1960s don't tend to watch many Westerns.
And nor should they also. Like Westerns are generally incredibly violent.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean,
the kids these days aren't watching that many Yakuza movies. Like they probably should be.
I love Westerns as a genre, but yeah, it is a weird thing to have in Lego versus having. I appreciate what it's going for.
Oh, I mean, it's a very recognizable like theme.
And specific to movies.
Yeah.
In a way that like Mars
Well,
Mission,
and it lets you do the like train scene, right?
That's fair as well. And bad cop on the horse, and the horse is moving as a Lego horse does, so it has no points
Yes.
of articulation, which I love.
So good.
Oh. The humor in here is just
Yeah.
so
I mean,
consistently funny.
Middle Zealand is an incredibly funny
Yes.
joke.
Oh, I died seeing that.
Oh.
I was like, I don't think I laughed at that as a kid. When I saw that, I was like, that's very funny.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's just filled
so I was
with
watching
what other jokes got me?
I was watching with a friend who's from New Zealand last night when I watched through this.
Mhm.
And I turned to her and I was like, this is hilarious. Why are you not laughing? She was
Yeah.
like, I live in New Zealand. This is an offensive joke to me. I was like, I don't care.
But the
This
joke is
funny.
that they filmed Lord of the Rings in New Zealand. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Also,
think there certainly is a culture in New Zealand around like, yes, we know Lord of the Rings was filmed here, but we have more things.
yeah,
And
which
then
like,
us
yeah,
Americans
you do.
come in, we're like,
Yeah,
I
no,
guess you do, but
you,
like
they
Lord of the
do.
Rings,
Taskmaster New Zealand is my favorite spin-off.
that is honestly, I can agree with you there.
Thank you.
Real good.
Yeah. Other jokes that got me, the Michelangelo bit
Yes.
was
Michelangelo.
incredibly funny to me. Also, listen, having Dumbledore and Gandalf together is funny because I do think people mix them
So
up.
good.
But watching this in 2025, I was like, great, can we cut Dumbledore from this movie, please? Like we don't need that.
Fair.
Yeah, and that's not like quite as iconic. I guess those sets do sell well. Who knows?
Yeah, because they're
Anyway,
licensed properties.
yeah.
Yeah.
The humor though is just like I was worried rewatching this that I wouldn't have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Having, really loved it when it came out and then not seen it in several years, like, is this going to stand up? And it does.
Yeah.
The humor works, the references hit, and it is doing also, while it is doing that, it is also doing an interesting story, and like the meta stuff, which we've touched on a little bit, is just so fascinating in bringing all of the like themes together into something very cohesive.
Well, and I think it's such a good choice to have Will Ferrell as the dad, who is big business, because like if you know Will Ferrell from one movie, it's Elf, right? And so to have like Buddy the Elf have grown up and become the businessman that he had to like rescue and put joy in his life is like, yeah, that's an interesting like story that this movie is evoking by just casting this actor in this role.
Yeah, and then of course he goes on to play the CEO of Mattel in Barbie.
Oh, I still haven't seen Barbie.
Same character.
It's just the same guy.
Trilogy
Buddy the Elf grew up.
Elf Lego movie.
You could watch that.
Barbie.
Yeah, I think there is an arc there you could string together somehow. Because in the Barbie movie, he is much more. He has embraced.
Isn't he like
the
we
fun.
need to kill Barbie?
No,
in that movie?
no.
Oh, okay.
That is very much not what is going on there. He is like the excited, like the he is presented like not antagonistically in any way, shape, or form.
Well, maybe the
which is
Barbie movie
fascinating from,
happens between Elf and this one.
It does feel like the arc in this would then tie into the Barbie movie a little bit, because he's fun in the Barbie movie. He's like embraced creativity. But yeah, no, interesting stuff. Yeah, any other thoughts on the stories here before we dig a little deeper into characters?
I think the ending note. I think the gag that this movie ends on is perfect. With the Duplo showing up.
Yeah.
As a first time watcher of this movie, I was like, oh yeah, that's the next movie is like we're gonna fight Duplos. And as an adult watching this movie, I was like, no, absolutely not. We're just making a joke that Duplo's here now, and that's great.
Yeah. And it plays like into the trope of like, it plays into the trope too of like so many movies, both now and of the time, always had like this like end gotcha, like, this is gonna be the next film. But in this case, like rewatching it now, I know that there's a sequel. I know that there's other films in the same like style and genre. And truth be told, I don't remember the plot of Lego Movie 2
There's he goes to
one way or
space, I
another.
think. Chris Pratt's a
It
cool
does
Yeah.
guy
direct
in that one
the
also.
it is a direct
Oh, yeah, that's right.
sequel.
Yeah.
So it is dealing with the fallout of it, but in like a years later
Yeah.
type way.
Yeah.
Never watched that one, only watched the trailer.
Fair.
It's
But yeah, like
yeah.
that film, I was like, you know, not having seen it in a long time, at the end of this movie, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's great. Whether or not they actually do anything with it, that's a really funny bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very interesting. I do remember really liking the second one, but I haven't seen it more than once. So I'll have to see how I
Yeah.
feel about it in a couple weeks.
Same.
Any final thoughts, Toa?
I think like my main critique of this film is not the story. The story is good. There are some moments in the story that I'm like, okay, that could have been better, or have a lot of questions about like the real life sequences get a little bit they're really cool and I think they work really well. But if you are trying to just follow the plot of the story outside of the real life sequences, like President Business goes from like, yeah, I'm gonna destroy everything to like, okay, we can be friends. And I know the movie doesn't exist outside of those real life sequences, but it's also
The
like
logic,
quick
even just like
turnaround.
trying to follow the logic. Like you think too much about, wait, this whole thing was in this kid's head,
Yeah.
but then also Emmett is has some kind of agency.
Yeah. Well,
It
Yeah.
kind of breaks things, but it works so well thematically and emotionally that I'm like, I'm not even going to touch that.
I also think Bad
Yeah.
Cop is like maybe too evil for like a character that a kid is coming up with.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe this kid was just a cab
maybe
the
this
whole
cop
time.
like I have written down in my notes, remember kids cops are legally allowed to lie to you. It's like this 8-year-old is truly taking the stance that all cops are bad cops.
Yeah. I will admit, several times throughout the movie they really play up the cop thing. At first it's just like bad cop,
Yeah.
and then they put like a police siren on the horse, and I laughed at that.
That is
And then
very funny.
they cut to the police alligators, and I was like, okay, this is
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, because it's also that's a thing you can do with Lego is just put the thing on the
Yeah.
thing, and now it's a police horse.
Yeah, it is. Again, this is so smartly made. Like it reminds me in ways of the recent Dungeons and Dragons movies, where you can tell the creators have experience with what they are creating here.
Although I think the Dungeons and Dragons movie makes a better choice, which is to not show people at a table playing the game.
Yeah.
I think that works really well for what the Dungeons and Dragons movie is. And I think there's a version of it where it's like, yeah, we showed people at the table playing a game. And I think it's a worse movie. Because I think just watching that movie with the understanding that it's people sitting around a table coming up with a story together is a great way to like, I just really liked the Dungeons and Dragons movie, and I highly enjoyed.
I will say,
watching
as
it
someone
with
who
my
doesn't play,
I feel like we probably got different things out of it, but like I sat and watched that with my friend who is like a forever DM, and every single spell that was like used, we were like, hey, I know exactly what that spell was. Like at the beginning when time stop gets cast, we were like all like, oh crap, this is an incredibly powerful person. Like, oh no.
Yeah, as someone who has not played much Dungeons and Dragons, I did not catch on to that it was like being done as a game of Dungeons and Dragons. But that was something, as soon as someone pointed it out to me, I'm like, oh, obviously, like with what little I know.
Mhm.
Whereas I do think like the Lego movie does benefit a little bit from pointing out, like, especially since it's like made for kids, being like, hey, this is you imagining the movie.
Yeah. And I think that the if you don't have the like live action sequences of this movie, it loses a lot of the heart that really makes it like work.
Yeah. I think okay, I'm tying this to like a much lesser movie. It just reminds me of a line from the FNAF movie where they at one point say something about like when you're young you communicate through pictures, and that's what the character in that movie does, and that's an important part of that film. In this one, the kid is communicating through the toys and the story that he's creating with
Yeah.
the toys. And while he's struggling to stand up for himself and like really just talk to his dad in a way that he'll listen, the story that he's created in this format that his dad loves eventually is what kind of turns the tide there.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, it's super relatable as a kid. It's super relatable as an adult.
Well,
I
think,
assume also as a parent.
yeah, I think
Haven't gotten there yet.
as a child, you feel misunderstood a lot of the time. And I think, I think that this is a great, like, yes, exactly all of what you said. I agree.
John, any final thoughts on the story?
Yeah, final thought to the story. It's decent. It's well done. I don't really have any issues with it, except that it doesn't really hit the same as multiple times. You know, when I watched it the first time, you know, the whole reveal, everything going on, it's like, you know, it has a bit more surprise and just more emotion behind it. But, you know, after a decade, I've seen this enough times that I don't really have much desire to watch it again. Like I've seen it so many times, and like each new time I watch it, I'm like, I don't need to watch this again. I don't have the same emotional impact it has. The story's just all in my head. I don't really need to experience it. But you know, if you're a first time viewer, if you've never experienced this before, I think this was a pretty good one. So yeah. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Yeah.
Yep, I gave it a 4 out of 5 for story.
I don't have the document pulled up. Jay, what did I give it?
Sam, you gave this a 2 out of 5.
Yeah. It's tropes, guys. That's also extremely reductive. All stories are tropes, but like this one's tropes and not much else.
Oops, all tropes.
Oops, all tropes. And I gave it a 3.5. Just kind of middle of the road. Like it was very good for, I think John said it best, is like the first watch, very, very good.
Especially as someone who loves Lego.
Yeah. Subsequent watches, still good. I still enjoyed it when I watched it last night, but also like, you know, like the plot is very straightforward. It's already in my head. I know exactly what happens. Even the part that I fell asleep for, I did go back and rewatch it, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly how I remember it. Okay, cool. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just simple.
Yeah.
I do also want to say before we moved on, I loved all of the relic names that I don't think I got the first time, but I love that they took like nail polish and made it like super fantasy with all of the apostrophes in the middle of the words and whatever. That was quite fun to me, especially as a D&D player.
Yeah, that was a good bit.
Well, yeah, on to the characters. First up, we have Emmett. John, what did you think of Emmett?
Emmett, very, you know, as planned by the film, he's a very blank character that the audience, I guess, can fill in. He's very simple. I don't really have much to say about them. Like, he's fun. I like how he doesn't he's experienced the world and he doesn't seem to understand how things work, which can lead to some fun comedy. But yeah, I wouldn't go to Emmett as my favorite character.
Yeah, Emmett, he's like the hero plucked from normalcy and made the savior of the universe, the Neo, the
Yeah, but like
Luke
Neo actually has
Skywalker.
powers though.
I mean, I think it is anyone in the Lego universe can become a master builder.
Right. I
think that's kind of
I do kind of hate the use of the phrase master builder because that is also like a specific thing that's like people whose job it is to build Lego. And I think if they had just made it like builder, that would have hit better because it's like I can build stuff out of Lego with no instructions, but it's not going to be like super good.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also think like a big part of Lego's like marketing as far as a company goes is they're trying to brand it as, yeah, anybody can get this job. Anybody can
Right.
work here and build Lego and become one of the best. Truthfully, I've been wanting that job since I was a child and I still don't have it. So I'm going to
Yeah.
call them out for that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
part of me
I
has
do.
always wanted to like, since they started doing the Lego ideas thing and you can like
Yeah.
submit your own idea, I'm very
Mm,
tempted to try that out.
I think all of the sets that I'm buying at this point are like Lego Ideas sets. It's like,
yeah.
yeah, I
There-
understand we're never going to get a whole Doctor Who like line of products, but I can have one TARDIS and that's fine.
Yeah. And there's some like really good Lego idea sets. Even
Oh,
though
yeah.
like I admit every single time the vote goes through and it's not a Bionicle set, I feel so sad. But then I
There was
look
the
at the set
20th
and I'm like,
anniversary
okay, that's
one.
cool.
That
There
wasn't ideas,
was.
but that was
The Twilight
Yeah.
House is calling my name as a recent. I am in my Twihard era, and I love Lego. It looks kind of ugly, and it's like $300. So
Yeah.
who knows? Uh, but yeah, no, the Emmett here, like he has this arc about finding his sense of identity and creativity. And what I do really like about it is that he's spent so long conforming to his prescribed role. So he has to like work to break out of it and to figure out who he himself is
Yeah.
apart from this society around him, this authoritarian society. And then that kind of also ties back into the real world stuff of you have a kid who is trying to figure out who he is in relationship to his dad.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some like smart stuff there.
The thing
I do
that
think as a character he kind of is a little bit blank.
That's the point. The thing I really
Fair.
appreciated about his character design is that he does have truly just the blandest Lego face, which it's the two dots and then the smile, which I didn't
Yes.
appreciate until this watch, or like because when they're like doing the scene where he's like talking to all his coworkers, and I'm like, oh yeah, this one has a beard. Oh yeah, this one, like, this is a unique Lego character. This one's more unique, and it goes back to Emmett, and it's like he's just got a face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a smart way that they have characterized him. And to take like Batman is in this movie, but the protagonist is a construction worker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's great.
It's a very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I love the idea of his character maybe a little bit more than I like his character
Yeah.
in the movie. But I think that's just like he is meant to be, as you're saying, Sam, he is meant to be the blank slate so the audience can project their own experiences onto
Which,
him.
not to get ahead of us, I think this is the one movie I think Chris Pratt's future roles as a voice actor retroactively make this one better.
Okay.
Because I think in all of his roles that he's voicing, whether it is Mario or Garfield or Emmett here, it's just his normal voice. He's just a guy, and that's what Emmett is. Emmett is just a guy, and I think that I was like, okay, he can have one.
Yeah, I think this was like the perfect casting for him because he is just a generic guy in this, and like, you know, Chris Pratt does have a background in comedy, so a lot of the line delivery is really good in that regard, but he's not really like playing up a character that is vastly different from his own regular voice. He's just talking into a mic in a funny way sometimes.
Yeah.
This year, by the way, that it was released, crazy big year for Chris Pratt.
Yeah, there's also
This
Guardians
and
of the
Guardians of the
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Sorry, Guardians of the Galaxy
Wild
Volume 1. We got points off of that for trivia night the other week.
Which,
Oh.
okay, I'm
shouldn't
not
have
going to
been.
argue with the trivia person on the podcast. That's not a thing I
sorry.
need
The
to do.
argument was that the poster did not say Volume 1.
Yes.
Sorry
We actually did a
to
good points taken off for that, so it's not even a discussion that needs to. Anyway, Wild Style.
Jay's cut that. I thought Wild Style was like, I don't know. I feel like she's like the character with the least stuff going on. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Actually, now I'm remembering the romance plot. Okay.
Yeah, I think
She's
John
the
had something to say about the romance a second.
yeah.
I don't necessarily love the romance as much. It's fine. It's fine enough, but it could be stronger.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
John. I think no, I do think that the arc of being like, oh yeah, my name, like of Emmett like finding out her name actually is it works, but I didn't immediately remember it when I was like, who is this character?
I
Yeah.
have beef. The more I think about this, actually, Toa, maybe I should let you go first because I'm
You
gonna
know,
be a little more negative.
that's okay. I'll soften the blow and then you can just hit it hard. Um I I thought she was okay. In general, most of the characters in this film are not super deep.
Yeah.
They feel pretty surface level. And she's kind of this like manic pixie dream girl kind of vibe.
Yes. Yes.
Um I will say she has a little bit more depth than most manic pixie dream girls in that like she has a like the like name and she has the goal and ambition of being the special one,
Mm-hmm.
um and working to take down President Business, but um yeah, she's kind of there. The romance subplot between her and Emmett is kind of, it really is more of like he's got a crush
Yeah,
and she exists and is a girl.
and she is
um
the one girl who's not Wonder Woman in this movie, and
Princess
true.
Sorry,
Unikitty
Princess Unikitty. Yeah,
Yeah,
and the unnamed sister who is not depicted
and the cat lady.
correct.
besides her voice. Yep. We're coming
Yeah.
up with a handful.
Okay, yep. All of these super fleshed out characters. Yeah.
Yes. This
It is the
does not
same
pass the
gender.
Bechdel test. I
No.
would have to sit down and think if it passes the sexy lamp test.
What's the
I
sexy
think it
lamp
does.
test?
Oh, that's the if you can replace the female lead with a sexy lamp, does anything change?
Yes.
So this one she does have a little
This
bit.
one,
She builds
yeah,
things to like
Yeah,
save them
that's
she
from
does build
President
things.
Business.
She is
yeah. I'm thinking
like
more of the
overall,
last act,
she's
but I
a
guess
decent
she
character.
is doing yeah.
It does kind of suck that she's reduced to like this romantic piece for like, Emmett's kind of like, oh yeah, she's the prize in
Mhm.
this,
Yeah.
which kind of
Yeah.
sucks. Her romance with Batman is really funny to me.
Yes,
But that's just because
Because
Batman's
why?
a very funny, like Batman's
Yeah.
a comic relief character here, though. Like
Yeah.
that's why it's funny.
It's so good when she's like this whole time like she is not selling the idea that she has a boyfriend.
No.
Yeah.
Anytime Emmett is like coming on to her a bit too strong, she's like, well, I have a boyfriend. And you're like, no, you don't. You aren't acting like you should. And then Batman shows up and she's like, babe. And it's like, oh, wait, she's dating Batman? Like, how does that?
Yeah.
What?
Which also like they're not
It's so
really
good.
dating. It's just that
No.
Batman is goth and so is she. And she's like,
Yeah.
guess
Although-
you're my
oh,
boyfriend now.
Yeah, I have a thought about that in terms of her characterization. Just in general, I was thinking of this character today and sort of her as like this cool girl, but a guy's like version of a cool girl. And that made me think of the Gone Girl, Cool Girl monologue, which is about how women sort of mold themselves to the men who they are trying to impress and how the different versions of a cool girl. So I think that does kind of tie in a bit with Wildstyle, who she is insecure about her identity as like represented in her name.
Yeah.
And then the thing that sort of rubs me the wrong way is that her arc is then she needs this guy to come along and like see quote unquote the real her.
Yep.
And it feels very like the scene in rom-coms which was spoofed in the Barbie movie where the guy like shows up and like takes off her glasses and is like, now I can see the real you.
Yep.
And like it just something doesn't quite work there for me. It feels more centered on Emmett than on Wildstyle as like her own person, and her arc is so tied to Emmett, even though like at the end when she's doing like the big rousing speech, that's cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Freedom Friday, that
I-
also happened on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Also very funny.
Yeah, I kind of
think-
wonder Like, what a I don't know if they like handed the script to a woman and were like, "Hey, can you help us?" But they probably should have.
I think there's a lot. Okay, so there's a lot of arguments that can be like kind of quelled by this point, and it sucks that this is like such a good case for them, but like because it's told as like it's framed as this is all taking place inside the mind of like a 10-year-old boy.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of like a okay, yeah, that makes sense that the romance is kind of
Yeah.
superficial and kind of meh. Not to say that's a good excuse to just be like, oh well, this is a 10-year-old boy thought of this, so it's
Right.
allowed to be bad. But
Actually, can I posit that it's an 8.5-year-old boy?
oh
Because
yes,
Fair.
actually,
because the
I
eight and a
I would
half
have to
years
agree
later, after the initial scene, I
Yes,
was like,
yes.
oh, interesting.
Yes, I
that they
picked up on that this watch
specify.
through as well.
Yeah,
That it's like presumably the age of the kid.
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, no,
Yeah, it was a
it
good bit.
is like, yeah, the way that I do think that is fair to bring up, that this is a kid's or like a boy's idea of what a cool girl is. Um, I do think though, yeah, I don't know how much leeway I'm willing to give the movie on that part, because I don't know if that is an intentional thing that the writers are thinking of as they're writing Wild Style, or if that's like just a thing that then lets them get out of jail free certain writing choices they
And I
made.
don't think it's like a
Yeah.
good, like, the flirting does not, like, sometimes I watch a movie where people are flirting and I'm like, oh, this is hot, and this is like, these people are absolutely having fun, would make a good couple. And in this movie, I'm watching it, I'm like, yep, these people aren't even flirting. It's just that male lead and female lead are gonna be in a romance, which, like, 8.5-year-old kid, sure, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, in the scenes where he is with Wild Style, Emmett gives off the vibe of like he is one rejection away from going full red pill, nice guy. Women don't like nice
right.
guys.
Well, and
They
it's
just want to date
because
bad boys.
Emmett actually wants to be a woman, and he can, in fact, take the blue pill and transition.
If that
To
were
be
what they
fair,
were going for, that would be brilliant.
I'm just saying
I'll leave
it's
it at that.
transitioning in the
it's
Lego world
there
much
in the
easier.
text. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
this is
yeah.
true. This is true. I'm just saying it's there in the text. Do I think it was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
intended takeaway? No, but it's what I'm choosing to take away from this movie.
That's very fair. And interesting that then there's a read of the Spider-Verse movies that has Gwen Stacy as a trans
Yes.
character.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
That is these same writers and other writers as well. But yeah. Next up we have Batman. Now, John, I know you're a big Batman fan, so I'm curious what your thoughts on this incarnation of Batman are, as you are wearing a Batman t-shirt right now.
I am wearing a Batman t-shirt right now. Yeah. No, I watching this film for the first time, it's really ridiculous that Batman is a prominent supporting character. He shows up and he's just Batman. It's the same with a bunch of other cameos in this film. Like you have Flash, Green Lantern, Star Wars stuff, and it's like all weird. It's weird that he's like a character in this. He actually does stuff. No, personally, I don't really care a whole lot for parodied versions of characters. However, because that's not so much the point of this film. This is a Lego film, and Batman here is here to represent the Lego Batman and Lego DC franchises, and he's not the focus of the film, where he has like his own storyline and such. Which, we will be covering Lego Batman later on, and so I will have similar opinions on how much I don't particularly care for the parodied aspect. But for this film, as an ensemble member of other characters, I think it works well enough, and he's really fun.
Yeah, I think Batman is the most fun ensemble member here, except for maybe Steve, Dave. What's Charlie Day's? Benny. Thank
Oh,
you.
Betty.
Benny.
The guy that
Yeah.
Charlie Day plays.
He's good. Yeah. yeah, Batman's funny. Like, mind you,
Yeah.
this is coming out 2 years after The Dark Knight Rises. So like the very like Christian Bale
Mm,
Batman trope of Batman is what is on
serious.
everybody's mind.
Yeah.
And like in general, very easy to make fun of.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
movie is like, yeah, Batman is the super serious, only wears black character, but we can kind of make fun of that. Like his super seriousness is funny in and of itself.
Yeah, he's this like
Uh,
heightened, but then like
No, well,
it's such a fun
yeah, I'm trying to the whole
example.
time we've been talking about this movie, I've been trying to figure out if this movie touches on camp. And I think this movie gets
mm,
very, very close to being camp without actually being camp. But I think the closest it gets is in the scenes with Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, he's exaggerated in a way
Yeah.
that sort of breaks the reality around him
Hmm.
a little bit. Not enough to like fully break the movie.
Right.
But yeah, it is like I wouldn't say this is a smart character or parody of Batman. Like if you are familiar with him in the comics, this is very different.
Well, this Batman has
But
no
it's just a
heart.
fun
Like,
character. Yeah, he's just a very interesting, and that's what I like about the Lego Batman movie as well, which I know John disagrees with, is the character ends up being compelling even though he isn't quite accurate to Batman as he is generally depicted.
hmm.
yeah.
He's maybe a bit more Iron Man-ish,
In a
just in
lot of
terms of
ways, yeah.
like the subtle differences between the two billionaire superheroes.
Yeah, very
Wow.
egotistical
How
in his
dare
own
you forget
head.
about Black Panther?
Those two. I know there are a lot
I
more
know.
than,
I
than
know.
both.
I'm aware. Oliver Queen. Uh no, I think Will Arnett is also having so much fun in this
Oh
role.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think this is the actor having the most fun in this movie.
Yeah. Him and Liam Neeson, I
Oh,
think, is
Liam
also.
Neeson's also having fun in
Yeah.
this movie.
And Will Ferrell, when he gets to like break apart the Lego sets,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it is
Uh,
so fascinating though. Like walking into the theater, I never would have expected Batman to be like the third lead of the movie.
Yeah.
mm,
And at the time, it
yeah.
was like this mind blowing
Oh,
thing.
dang. Sorry, I didn't realize Billy D. Williams actually voiced Lando in this movie. That's awesome.
Yes, yeah, they did get, and I
Oh,
think
that is
Anthony
cool.
Daniels showed
Yes.
up for C-3PO.
Yes.
That's sick.
The weird thing is the Lego Batman movie has Voldemort show up, not played by Ray Fiennes. Ray Fiennes is playing um oh, I'm forgetting Alfred. How did I forget
Oh,
that
okay.
name?
Oh, really
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. They brought in a different actor.
Oh, that's his name.
Anyway, we'll
Sorry.
talk about that later.
Sorry. Jake Johnson voices one of Emmett's like construction coworkers, and I did just
Oh,
write down in my notes Nick Spider-Man is here. Because I forgot. I forgot his name.
Yeah, that's about right.
The two things I know him from: New Girl and
Spider
Spider-Man,
Verse.
Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
which is
and now
also
the
false.
Lego
I did
movie.
watch Minx and I did enjoy it, and he is in that.
Mm. It is funny to me that like so we have Batman in this movie and he is a prominent major character.
Mm-hmm.
We also have other DC superheroes from like the Justice League in this,
Yeah.
but in my mind Batman is so separate from them in this movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can't imagine him interacting with any of the others in this movie and I don't know why, but like it is cool to see him not just as like a background character that pops up similar to the other DC superheroes, but like it is funny to be like, okay, yeah, the kid probably is just like, yeah, this is my favorite superhero, so we're taking
Mm-hmm.
him through the whole plot of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. And I remember being in the theater. I would say the only thing I can think of that has come close to that feeling recently of, oh, here's a character I recognize who has played a surprisingly prominent role. And in this one, it's slightly less prominent, but when Ugly Sonic shows up in the new Chip and Dale movie and is like a character in multiple scenes, like specifically Sonic the Hedgehog from the trailer.
Okay.
If you
Oh
haven't
yeah,
seen
yeah,
that
yeah,
trailer,
yeah. No, the
yeah,
first trailer,
yeah,
when then afterwards they redesigned Sonic.
yeah.
Yes.
So the idea
Yeah.
is that because it's similar to the Who Framed Roger Rabbit, it's like all of these animated characters actually exist as like people. So the idea is that like Ugly Sonic is his own separate entity from Sonic and is now like doing the convention circle. It's an interesting. I enjoyed it as like a loving homage to animation of the last 20 years. But yeah, anyway, Batman, he's fun.
Yeah.
He is.
Vitruvius, he is also a lot of fun.
Vitruvius is here. He's an old man played by Morgan Freeman. That's really all you need to know. There's not much.
And he's a hippie. I think that is.
I don't think he's a hippie. Like,
he is wearing a tie-dye shirt.
Sure, I just got that he was an old guy in a robe with a lollipop on a stick.
Yeah. Each time I rewatch this, though, I forget that he is actually wearing like a tie-dye shirt. And I mean, he talks about like dream catchers and
yeah, that's true. He does.
It's like not a serious version of a hippie, but then it does bring into this idea of like the special and that he just kind of like made up the prophecy, and it's really just it can apply to anyone. It doesn't really matter who steps up to the plate. It's
Speaking of tropes, the blind seer.
Yes,
he's not
yes.
like much of a seer, but like he is.
Yeah, I do appreciate, like, I feel bad in saying this out loud, but I appreciate when they put in quality blind jokes. Like they have the whole like heist scene of like everybody's got their roles, and yeah, the blind guy is going to be the lookout. It's like, yes, that is very funny. It cuts to him staring intently at a wall through binoculars. It's like, yeah, that's a good bit.
Yeah. I also so the scene
so
where
you may
he gets
enjoy
beheaded,
reading Homestuck. That was a joke. Please don't read Homestuck. There's very good blind jokes in Homestuck also. Terezi's great.
But yeah, he just gets like beheaded, which is like the mentor figure in these movies has to die. But it is like a surprisingly shocking moment. And then his trying to give Emmett the pep talk, but then dying before he can finish it, and then he comes back as Ghost Vitruvius.
Yeah.
That was, I remember laughing so hard in the theater the first time I saw that. Just incredible moment. And he's like attached to a little string and is like moving around as if he is being puppeted by it's so perfect.
Yeah.
I love Vitruvius. He's one of my favorite characters. Just Morgan Freeman being this blind wizard, says the most random stuff. He was my favorite thing while watching the film. It's probably still my favorite one here. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up we have Princess Unikitty.
Unikitty. Yeah. I mean, this is one that has, the evil version of himself. I don't have a whole lot to say about Unikitty. I know that you have in the notes here the MLP reference. I don't know if it really is one, but
it has to be.
I mean,
at least even just like in the general like tone and design of the character.
Sure.
It feels like maybe not as like well thought through of a reference as like the Batman stuff. Like maybe the creators are a little less familiar with MLP.
Yeah, but no, Unikitty's force positivity can be fun at times. So yeah, she's like another fun side character who has really good moments.
John
Jay,
just
isn't
talking
like
up a storm over here.
Jay, isn't like John the one that knows about MLP?
Yeah, I disagree somewhat with him, but I just think like I think for him this is like the more you know about My Little Pony, the less it feels like a parody, because it is done without like knowledge of deeper lore.
Yeah, I don't know that Princess Unikitty is not really a character that has an arc. Like she's here.
Yeah.
She likes
pink and sparkles.
She has an arc. She has an arc. She gets angry.
Yeah. A very simple arc.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
She's here. She's fine. Like,
she's definitely played for comedy, right?
Yeah.
She's the like token girly toy mixed in with all of the either gender neutral or very boyish toys. And definitely like, hey, I pulled this out of either like my sister's collection, or it was a hand me down of some kind, and I didn't really want to include it, but I was running out of pieces, so here we are.
yeah. I do appreciate the
Um,
representation of Lego characters that are not minifigures,
Yes.
Yep.
which is a vital part of playing Lego for many people. But that's really all I feel like she adds to this movie.
Yeah.
I
She
like
is,
her.
she's a unique character to Lego as a whole. She didn't exist before the Lego movie and has since gotten a lot of uh, set releases. So that's cool. I do like when they incorporate new characters in general, and I think she's very fun. The voice actress does a really good job. I know, according to Jay, not the real voice actress in his heart, but at least the English voice
Yep,
actress
yep.
does a really good job. She's in a lot of things too. Like I didn't realize who she was until like quite a bit later, and then I was watching through The Boys, and I was like,
Oh,
wait a
yeah.
minute, I know that voice when she does finally speak.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, it's Princess Unikitty. That's a very different role, but okay.
Yeah. I think for me, just because Princess Unikitty is like the most overtly feminine figure in this film, I think maybe she stands out a little bit more to me. Um, yeah, I always like this character. I like the difference between the angry and the happy. And that little bit where she's like, we take all of the bad emotions and we like smush them all down where we will never find them. That's just like a fun little throwaway gag that you think is just like, oh, that's just like not going to come back, and then it actually becomes her whole character arc.
Yeah, I mean it's a rule of three's character arc, right? Like you
Yeah,
have that
yeah,
bit, and then you
Yeah.
have the bit where like she's watching Cloud Cuckoo Land get destroyed, and then you have the end where like she finally like actually gets angry, and it's like, yep, rule
yeah,
of three's done.
Yep.
yeah. Next
Yeah.
up, we have Metalbeard.
Metalbeard, man, just like the cyborg pirate whose backstory is ridiculous. No, he's fun. He adds a lot to the ensemble for being this giant mechanical technic thing that he is. And he's part of the pirate theme that they have here as part of our group, which is fun. He has a
Yeah.
bunch of interesting like random lines, like oh, wiping your bum with like a hook for a hand is difficult. This is impossible, or something. There's something there that's just I quote in my head.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. I think I do appreciate the like Bionicle-esque representation.
Yeah, you're
Probably the
you're
closest thing
grasping
we
for
got.
anything you can, man.
Anything. Absolutely
Listen.
anything.
I love Bionicle too. We talked about it for 7 hours, but I'm just like,
Uh-huh.
it's not what this movie's about.
No, but they got kind of close. He has arm articulation.
Yeah, so do a
Um,
lot of the
yeah.
Ninjago like mech sets. Like,
Yeah, but I didn't watch that movie.
yeah, fair.
So-
That is not a good movie. I'll be
I
rewatching
watched,
it soon.
but will you
I'll
be
see.
watching the Ninjago TV show?
No, if we cover
Oh.
that will be a separate endeavor.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I wanted for
I
this
did
series.
watch portions of the Ninjago TV show. So,
Okay.
Same. Pretty
no,
good.
my opinion of Metalbeard is that it took me longer to identify that it was Nick Offerman voicing him than I think anyone else in this movie. I was for everyone else in this movie, I
didn't
was
even
immediately
realize.
like, I know who that is. And for Metalbeard, I was like, is this Nick Offerman doing an accent? And then it was, and I was like, yep, all right, great.
Oh, that makes him even better in my mind. I
Yeah.
didn't even realize until now.
Yeah, I don't have a ton to add on Metalbeard. We
Oh,
also have
I will
Benny.
say,
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
before we move on from Metalbeard, there is one thing that I do appreciate. So he's introduced as a pirate character. He's added to the like core character cast. Um, ultimately, like he's not like super useful as like a character. He's there, he's helpful, but he's not like Unikitty where he has like a big moment that like frees Emmett and that pushes him forward. But the moment that he does have is the fact that he is kind of the through line that gets them from the like cloud happy land, I forget what it's called,
Maple Land.
to the yeah, to the giant tower.
Yeah.
Because they establish in his first section that yes, I got there first by boat with a crew. I'm the only one that made it out alive. So we do get established that like he knows his way there. It's traversable by sea. It's just a few like little details that's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, this actually makes sense as to why they're going the way they went versus I feel like a lot of modern animation is like, especially aimed at children, are just like, we're going this way because we're going this way and you don't need to question it. There's no reason. It's just
Yeah.
we wanted to go this way.
I
He
don't
was
know.
at least good setup.
I also in this movie don't really feel like they needed that. I feel like they could have just been like, "Yep," and we're going to next location. I would have been like, "Yep, great, got it."
I
But
do
I do
appreciate,
appreciate that it's
yeah.
there.
And also, I will mention, because I forgot to mention it before, his original crew included Speed Racer, since they had some Speed Racer Lego sets. So it's a blink and you'll miss it, since I had mentioned Speed Racer as a similar film. Thought that would be worth bringing up. But yeah, Benny,
He's here.
spaceship.
Benny.
Yeah, he loves a spaceship. Listen, who building Lego does not love a spaceship?
they're they're like the platonic ideal of what to
Yeah.
build with Lego, because
If
you
you-
can build it and then you can go new
And
and play with it.
It's
And they
fun
have
to crash
shooty
into
things.
walls.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, this has nothing to do with anything. But the way I played with Legos in high school is I would get together with some friends and we would build elaborate cars and then smash them into each other and see whose car survived. It was quite fun. We
Doing Lego
destroyed
Lego.
Robot Wars
few
over
bricks.
here.
Yeah, we had like elaborate rules. It was fun. Anyway, spaceship.
Spaceship.
I feel like,
Basically has the same energy as the one emotion core from Portal.
Oh
equate
yeah,
those two.
space.
Yeah.
Want to go to space?
Space. Wanna
Gotta
to
go space.
seeing him
Space.
get to like finally make his spaceship,
Yeah,
it's
it
just
was
so
good.
satisfying
Yeah,
and
that
touching.
was nice.
I do think after like watching this movie, that was like that and Everything Is Awesome did overstay their welcome pretty fast for me as a high schooler walking around and seeing a bunch of people go spaceship, spaceship, spaceship all the time. I was like, yep, okay. Yes, I also saw the Lego movie. This has got annoying really fast, but in the context of the movie itself, I did enjoy it.
Yeah, we've talked a bit about Lord Business already. Sort of the father as the paternalistic authoritarian ruler, who then has this like moment of turnaround.
Are we talking about Lord Business and the man upstairs as if they're one character, or are we talking
I mean,
about
they
them?
are
I think one is representative of the other,
functionally.
certainly.
Yeah,
Okay. I think he has the best arc of anyone in this movie. Then
that's fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
that he goes from that he learns to be like, hey, my son
yeah,
likes Lego and is very creative and can do cool things, and maybe I need to create space for that.
I
Yeah.
also appreciate that they made a Lego minifig that looks like Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Like they look like
Yeah,
each
it's
other,
pretty
and
nice.
that's a good through line.
Yeah. Yeah, I am curious, like, the kid obviously is like pulling this minifigure out of like his dad's collection and being like, hey, this one looks like dad, and then building this story around that.
Yeah.
That seems like a very interesting thing to dig into. I will say, like, as someone who has Lego sets as an adult that I use for display, I am a bit on his side when it comes to the Legos. Like, uh, I don't currently like have kids who live in the spaces that I live in, so that isn't like a thing that comes up as a point of conflict. It's like, oh yeah, he has all of these nice Lego sets built up, and then he's like, yeah,
I don't think those are sets. I think those are MOCs.
oh
I don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
there's a Lego luxury apartment complex set that you could buy at any point, Jay.
That's fair. That's fair. I am using sets
Yeah.
in the incorrect
Now this does lead me to
way,
my
but yeah,
question: why would you build a luxury apartment complex out of Lego? Um, but you know what? It did happen in this movie.
there there are people
I know.
out
Some
there.
people
I'm
just
just
have
like, the
that kind
point
of
of
tism.
Lego is to have the
Yeah.
imagination, you know?
Yeah.
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 We've talked about oh wait, did John have thoughts on Lord Business?
We already kind of covered
Okay.
John's thoughts on Lord Business, but John does have thoughts on Bad Cop.
Bad Cop. He's the Liam Neeson character. I often forget that he's here sometimes, in retrospect. But like when I was first going into this film, I was like, "Oh, Liam Neeson! Can't wait to see him in this." Um, he's fun. Good cop, bad cop. They both had this little dynamic. Bad cop, him with the chairs is it's funny, but like in the midst of all these great characters, he kind of gets forgotten sometimes.
I think that's a fair point. There's some really good bits. I mean, the fact that he, in and of himself, is such a Lego character, and
Yeah.
that they make the trope of like he's good cop and bad cop because of the Lego reversible heads
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
really great.
Yep. I disagree with John. I think actually that metal beard is probably, if I was gonna forget one of these, it would be him and not Bad Cop, because I do think that the kicking chairs gag is memorable at the very least. I did laugh at it a few times, or I got a good chuckle, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm on your side with this, Sab. I think Bad Cop to me, watching this back, is the most memorable character for me of like the original.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think so. And I think
he,
the
yeah,
arc with Bad Cop is actually one of the more fulfilling ones.
yeah.
Hmm.
The scene where Lord Business erases the good cop side is
That's scary.
genuinely upsetting and scary in a way that you aren't necessarily expecting the Lego movie to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then that he comes back around to it and like draws the face back on and is like, hey, this is still actually a part of me that I can access. Yeah,
Well, and it being coupled with the line of "No more Mr. Nice Guy" was just like that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
poetry
yeah,
right
yeah.
there. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. It's phenomenal. He's such a fascinating character and like so consistently funny. Like
Yeah.
the horse, we already talked about it, but I'm gonna keep bringing it up. When he rides the horse into the saloon and it is moving the way a Lego horse moves,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's so
So
good.
good.
Well, I think too the Bad Cop takes himself incredibly seriously, which is
Yeah,
a perfect opportunity for humor with a character.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like a lot of characters, when characters take themselves super seriously, there's great ways you can inject humor into the story through them.
yeah,
Yeah. And of course, like at this point, like Liam Neeson is probably best known for like Taken. That's where like
Yeah.
the bad cop personality, the voice is coming from. But the fact that he's also good cop doing this like high pitched goody two shoes that I would never expect to hear out of Liam Neeson's mouth
yeah,
is so funny to me.
yeah. It's a fascinating, funny, hilarious character. I am curious to see Liam Neeson is the lead of the new Naked Gun movie. And they just put out a
Ooh.
trailer recently and it I'll spoil it. It's a funny bit. It's worth watching anyway. Um it's this like bank robbery, and then this little
Mhm.
girl like walks in, and she has like the schoolgirl uniform and the lollipop, like a 12-year-old girl, and then like pulls off her mask, and it's Liam Neeson in a schoolgirl outfit holding a lollipop. And it is just the visual mismatch there is so good.
I mean,
That's
That's pretty good.
directed by the guy who directed the best episode of the Knuckles TV show, the low budget rock opera.
Oh,
I
nice.
how dare you say Liam Neeson is best known for Tankin? Because actually, Liam Neeson probably best known for playing Aslan in the Chronicles of Narnia movies. um,
He's had a
no, he is
weirdly
a.
like a great career. I just
I,
recently watched Schindler's List, and he is like so good in that, in like
he
an
was in Dairy
old
Girls.
Hollywood star way.
I mean, it does really
Yeah.
seem like Liam Neeson has had a lot of fun. Like Liam Neeson and Mark Ruffalo have like played a bunch of leading mans and now can just like have fun in whatever
Yeah.
indie projects or like voice roles they want to have. And I do appreciate like that,
Yeah.
or playing fictionalized versions of themselves,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which it seems like he's done multiple times.
uh, well, yeah, that's most of the characters here. I guess you have Finn. He doesn't have like a super solid character except what we can like glean
Sorry,
from.
Finn's the name of the kid, right?
Yes,
Okay,
sorry, I
Oh,
should
okay.
have. I was getting to that. um
yeah, Finn from Adventure Times here. You fully missed it, Sam.
I was thinking this was way before the sequel trilogy. What Finn are we talking about?
uh, yeah, I find, as we've been sort of talking about, his relationship with his father as this central conflict of the film interesting, but you don't get like a big sense for him as a character outside of that.
Yeah, he's really just the like
Yeah.
self-insert kid kind of
Yep.
thing. Like
Yeah.
the plot of the movie is the character of the kid. Is
Yep.
as best as we get, really.
Yeah. Any other final thoughts on the characters overall?
I think Shaquille O'Neal, truly the most important character here. I did laugh at they were ready for that because it
Yes.
was
Yes.
very funny. But I did also appreciate the inclusion of the like Lego NBA where they had like the springs in the legs so you could make them shoot the
Yes.
basketballs, which I don't
Yep.
think
Yeah,
I
I
ever
had one
played
of
with, but
those.
I did see a few of those sets when I like would go over to other kids' houses in the neighborhood.
That was a scene that like I don't remember laughing at when I was watching it in theaters as a kid, but like I watched it last night and that was probably the thing that made
Yeah.
me burst out laughing the hardest.
That and quick to the invisible jet, like that was the gag I
Yes.
remember from watching this movie as a kid. Was like, oh, quick everyone to the invisible jet. Oh, dang it.
John, any final thoughts on the characters before you give your scores?
Yeah, well, I do enjoy some of these characters. I don't love all of them on like a personal level. I didn't quite relate to them, but I do love how vibrant these character designs are. Like you put them all in this menagerie, and it's like, oh, that is a very interesting dynamic you have here. The original characters, I think they're unique and charming in their own way, like Middlebeard, and then what all these characters add to these menagerie, like their comedic gold and the cameos, it's fun and I enjoy it. So yeah, I gave the characters a 3.5 out of 5.
Yep. And I gave them a 3. Sam, you gave them a 2.
Okay, I do have the document open now,
Oh,
so
okay, good.
yeah.
Good.
Thank you though.
Yeah, and I also gave him a 3. Kind of like
I
the
feel like
characters
I'm gonna
in and
bump
of
my 2
themselves.
up to a 3. Like they're there, it's fine.
Yeah, peer pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the supporting characters more than
Yes.
Emmett or Wildstyle.
Yeah.
This is one of those that like the characters in and of themselves are each of them are just kind of like they're okay, but it's about like the fact that they have as many characters displayed on screen and I'm not like overwhelmed or confused or anything is good character writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. On now to the visuals.
Oh yeah, man, the visuals are fantastic. Like when I watched this for the first time when it was coming out, I was completely fooled by this film when it came out. I fully believed that it was stop motion. Like that was the thing that just kept me rewatching this film. It's like, oh man, that's stop motion. That's like so amazing. Um, and then you kind of revealed to me that it wasn't, and then Jay and I, we had like these debates about like it was stop motion or not. You were like, "Oh no, John, it's animation." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's stop motion. It is animation, but it is so fantastic. It's like almost perfect. It looks great today. Personally, though, I think it's the best looking of all the Lego movies. As the other ones, I think they've had slightly less time for them to perfect it, or they've changed how they did some of the detail, and so it doesn't quite look as immaculate and perfect as this one.
Okay, yeah, yeah. It's interesting the way it looks stop motion. Like they're animating a lot on twos and threes, which I think gives it that quality because that's not typical, especially for CG animation of the time. That it's a little janky or not jankier, but there's
Yeah,
more sort of visual stutter there that really sells
e-
it as stop motion.
yeah, even to the point of like the way they chose to do lighting and how they gave each of the Lego figures imperfections that like really sell the tangibility of these figures. It's like, man, they went so far in making this look good. Um, yeah, I yeah, yeah, it's great.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
mean,
like stylistically, it's really cool when animation has a style to aim for, and that's why I love like Legend of Zelda Wind Waker because it's like a very specific
sure.
style that it's going for, and this movie has that, and it does it incredibly well.
Yeah. Like coming from other Lego movies, because at this point
Yes.
they'd released quite a few just like online or direct to video or any of those kinds where even just looking at the Bionicle movies, they're not set accurate.
No.
Like truthfully, at least in the original Bionicle trilogy, they're not set accurate. They look so different, and largely that's because they started the production of the movies at the same time as just getting concept art, so they just kind of had to work with what they had.
Well,
But
it's also easier to make concept art for Lego minifigures than like Bionicles.
true. But
Like I
even like in this case, like they use the lighting is a huge part of it. They went out of their way to not just make the Lego characters move and like talk and tell a story. They're moving like Lego minifigures. The lighting makes them look like they're actual just toys that are moving.
mhm.
The imperfections, the fingerprints, all of that stuff is like this isn't just a movie where the characters look like Lego people. It is the Lego movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. And it's such like looking back, it's such an obvious choice. But
Yeah.
that was not at the time, as you're saying, Toa, like the Clutch Powers movie, which we talked about last week, is more like Lego as a style that has been put on a more traditional set style of animation. The figures are moving and bending in ways that Lego figures would never move. So to take this, and it is, I imagine, so limiting to the animators to like, okay, we can only do these types of articulations, but then that allows them to like be creative in other ways.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when he's doing the jumping jacks at the beginning, right? Like
Yeah.
really that's
Yeah.
when it's like, oh, this is okay. They've got rules here. But also like we talked about it too, but I really feel like this movie laid the groundwork for why Into the Spider-Verse is so gorgeous, for why Puss in Boots
Yeah.
is so like gorgeous to look at. Like it's not like this movie is not going there, but it really does feel like this movie laid the groundwork for more stylistic animated movies that aren't just Pixar, like Disney 3D animated movies. And like the success of this set up Warner Brothers and other, Sony to be like, well, maybe more stylistic animation can work, right?
Without the success of this movie, I think we would have missed out on a lot of really good uh just animation direction in the future. And don't get me wrong, the like I like the Disney Pixar look, and I like that kind of more generalized look that we've gotten, but getting to see like media in their like in homage to their origins is so nice.
Well, and if everything looks like that, it's boring.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true too.
Yeah.
Jay, do you know if this movie is like related at all by like producers or studio or whatever to the Hotel Transylvania movies?
We have writers that are
Okay.
crossing over.
I don't know a lot about those movies, but I know that those movies are like pushing the bounds of animation and what animation can do.
Those are doing more like smears and
yeah,
whereas this one is doing the animating on 2s and 3s, which feels like it's, I mean, I know that had been done in CG before,
right.
but it is very intentional on that stuff. But yeah, it is coming out at a similar time and kind of pushing CG animation a little closer to 2D animation and
Yeah.
using those strategies to make something that looks less realistic, but actually ends up having like more personality.
Now, Jay, I of course know what animating on 2s and 3s are, but for any listeners who are listening that might not, could you
Yes.
explain that?
Yeah, so we've talked about this before on the Barbie video game hero episode, an example of a movie that tries doing that but fails spectacularly. But essentially you have 24 frames per second is the traditional way that
Yes.
films are displayed, but with animation that's a lot of drawing to do. So animating on 2s and 3s, you are not animating every frame, you are doubling frames.
Sure. Okay, so it looks slower, and so it lends itself to that stop motion look.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And hand drawn is typically done on
Right.
2s. I think Disney tends to do 2s a lot. Anime has a lot of, and there's a lot of variation even in anything.
Sure.
But yeah, that's why the Lego movie looks a little choppier, is because they are doubling frames.
But, and I will say this, they do something similar in the Spider-Verse. It's not everything that is animated like that.
Right.
Like the faces oftentimes are very smooth, or any of like the spaceship movements. Obviously, Vitruvius on a string is just kind of dangling around at full frame.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it really sells the difference in movement and different things in the frame moving in different ways. You get, and that's Spider-Verse, as you were saying, also does this. It adds so much. It's like, using this thing that has existed in animation for a practical purpose for so long. And like, I mean, 2D animation also varies it as well.
Right.
But bringing that into CG, where CG doesn't have the same limits, but then intentionally bringing that stuff back in for artistic purposes. It's phenomenal. I love the animation here so much.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
I think my note says me like.
There's also just like so much visual humor as well. It's they're doing a whole lot.
Yeah, I think the stylistic choices made here, whether it's to make Emmett just the smiley guy, or like all the character designs are also wonderful and fun to look at without being like incredibly jarring or in conflict with each other.
Even stuff like the Old West, when the title card pops up and then it is actually a physical thing in the environment that you then see from different angles. So
they really
simple,
do take advantage. Like they take advantage of it being Lego so frequently. Like the water is Lego studs.
Yeah,
like,
the water was the other thing I was going to mention, was that it looks pretty cool. Yeah,
which they actually move away from in the next one, in the Lego Batman movie, and I think they kind of find a different way to do it in the second part. I actually really like the way that it looks in the Lego Batman movie, because so much of that is at night, and then you have like the water on top of bricks or like interacting with bricks. So there's like wet
Mm,
bricks, and the plastic, the lighting looks phenomenal in that one. But that's a topic for a different week.
that's fair.
Yeah, and what score did you give the visuals?
I gave the animation a 5 out of 5. It's perfect. It is fantastic. If it fools me enough to think that it was real, it deserves so much respect. And also, stop motion I like. So, yeah.
Yeah, I also gave it a 5.
Yeah, same.
I went 4.5.
Almost 5s across the
I
board.
watched.
Almost.
Listen, 5 is reserved for Spider-Verse and Puss in Boots. Like those
Okay.
are the only things that are getting a. Also, when I filled this out, no one else had filled in their things, and I was like, "What are the ends of the scales?" Like,
Yep. That is fair.
That's fair. I think this is one of the few movies that I genuinely am like, yeah, I don't think they could have done anything different visually to make this better.
I think they could have
So
waited 10 years before making it to make it better. But
oh, there you go.
I mean, yeah, like no.
Yeah.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah. On
so
now
I
to the
like no notes.
performances. Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
First up we have Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt is so overused, especially today with like the Mario movie, Garfield, other stuff. At the time, I had no issues. I didn't know who most of these people were. I didn't know who Chris Pratt was. Um, and so this was kind of my introduction to him. And so, notably, 2014, this was like a huge year for Chris Pratt because he did this movie. He also like premiered heavily with Guardians of the Galaxy, and then they announced the trailer for Jurassic World, where we got to see him be cool with velociraptors on a motorcycle. But today wise, I'm kind of tired with his voice because again, he's overplayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sam,
Yep.
you brought up the point that like in retrospect it does add to this film that he's kind of giving a generic Chris Pratt voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do kind of agree though that it's like, yeah, he's maybe a little overused.
I don't know. I think I yep. Sorry. No, I'm just thinking of I was thinking about all the performances like sort of put together and sort of have to be like, oh yes, Chris Pratt's performance specifically. I'm like, yep, it was serviceable. Like it was not the one I was looking forward to talking about. Like
Okay. Yeah. Well, which one are you looking forward to
oh,
talk about?
I mean, I think I already talked about Liam Neeson and Will Arnett having the most fun in this movie, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I know John had some thoughts on Will Arnett.
Will Arnett as Batman. This was the first time I was introduced to Will Arnett, so that was fun.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think as a kid, I had not watched Arrested Development before this. I'm trying to remember what else Will Arnett is. I mean, he was on SNL for a while, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, he's having so much fun with Batman here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does a great job
really
too. Like
phenomenal.
he plays up the tropey side of it too with like the gruff voice and playing everything so seriously, but he's got the timing and everything to make it really comedic too.
Yeah,
Yeah. Other standouts here. I do think Elizabeth Banks and Alison Brie as Wildstyle and Princess Unikitty, respectively. Even though
like
I like the Spanish voices a little better,
yeah, yeah.
I think they are doing a good job
Yeah,
here.
Jay, talk to
I
us
think
about
that
the Spanish performances in this movie.
Actually my dad is currently out of the country, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to watch this with him. So when he gets back, we will be watching it dubbed in Spanish. So I don't have any like comments to make right now, just because I haven't seen it since the theaters.
Yeah,
But yeah, I just remember thinking like, oh, these voices fit so well, and then hearing the English dub and going like, oh, that was not what I was expecting, even though they fit very well.
yeah. Elizabeth Banks does a good job, but as we were talking about Wild Style, I was like, oh, I really actually would like to see this movie with Erika Ishii as Wild Style. I think
Okay.
they would do a great
Ooh.
job in that role. Prolific voice actor, like But I think that they would play up more the tropiness of that character in a way that would make her more enjoyable for me to watch.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. We do have a lot of like celebrity names
Yeah,
playing these
which like,
roles.
but also like that's how movies work now. Is like you'll
Yeah.
go to watch The Wild Robot, also another gorgeous movie, and Matt Berry will be playing a beaver, and I'm like, oh, yep, that's Matt Berry. Sure.
Or you'll go and watch a Minecraft movie, and Matt Berry will be playing a villager.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those are some of his lines.
Why even get Matt?
But yeah,
I don't want
anyway,
to
here
watch
we
that
have.
movie. I very nearly did a double feature of that movie with Nausicaa a few weeks ago because I went and saw Nausicaa with friends, and then they were like, "Hey, we're gonna go see a Minecraft movie after this. You want to come?" And then we didn't end up doing it.
Dodged a
That would.
bullet there.
Yeah,
But yeah, like stuff like Channing Tatum as Superman or Jonah Hill as Green Lantern, like they're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
a good job. I do kind of wish with those types of roles, maybe they could be giving those to voice actors who could use
Yeah,
the work a little bit
I don't
more.
know. For Jonah Hill specifically, it's like a very Jonah Hill type of character, though.
That's true. That's
Like,
true. Yeah. I do enjoy this version of Green Lantern. That's sort of the like he wants to
Well,
be with the cool guys.
yeah. Well, and this also is, of course, playing off of the what's his name? The Canadian Chris
Reynolds.
Pratt,
Oh,
Ryan
yeah.
Reynolds,
Yeah,
uh,
the movie.
Green Lantern, right? Where
Yeah,
of course Green Lantern is now the laughing stock of every uh time he will show up ever because of that movie.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it feels
which
like
is
if this had come out
unfortunate.
before that, it would be like Aquaman in that
Yeah,
role.
Yeah, for sure.
it's like I can talk to fish.
Oh. But yeah, no, I do love so many of the vocal performances. Liam Neeson, we've been talking about him this whole episode. I love that he gets to use his Irish accent.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think,
Like,
and I think Nick Offerman does a great job as Metalbeard also.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he has a lot of good lines, even though I don't remember that character as fondly
No,
as
I
other
don't.
characters.
But also he was doing a pirate accent, so I'm
Yeah.
like, yay, actual voice acting.
Also, Morgan Freeman
Yeah, I mean,
has
Yep.
so much. I mean, he's always great, but he lends a gravitas to anytime you give Morgan Freeman a funny line. It's just inherently funnier because it's Morgan Freeman saying
yes.
it.
Yep,
Yep.
and that is the humor of Vitruvius.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the voice acting here?
This is one of the few movies that I think did benefit from celebrity voice acting. A lot of them I'm not super fond of, but because this one specifically really played into like a very like meta humor, I think it makes a lot of sense that like yeah, if you're a kid, you're kind of plug and playing with
Mm-hmm.
all of these voices that you hear on TV. So yeah, of course the narrator like mentor figure is going to sound like Morgan Freeman in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do also want to say Charlie Day playing Benny, the space guy, is not quite Pepe Sylvia, but it is still like kind of that scene. Like there's a frantic energy to that character.
Yeah.
And I do think Charlie Day is good casting there.
Yeah.
I gave the voice acting a 3.5 out of 5. I think everyone did a pretty solid job. I am tired of some of these voices due to how successful and overused some of them are. Like, I hear them all the time.
Yeah. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Phenomenal across the board, but yeah, the overused voices, I do think, specifically Chris Pratt, even though he is well suited for the role.
Yeah, I will give it a 3 out of 5 because most of these, there are some that I'm like, yes, I'm tired of hearing these voices. There were some where I was like, this is a perfectly serviceable job, and then there were the two where I was like, yeah, these people are having so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gave it a 3.75. I think it's like, again, it's above like my general average. And I like the voice or the the actors behind a lot of the voices. In general, is it the best voice acting out there? No, but it is good. It fits the role as well. It's pretty solid.
Oh yeah, last up we have the sound/music.
I think the music works for this film. I think that there's like a bunch of fun moments. Like the Western section has a lot of pretty great music choices, especially in the chase scene. The Everything is Awesome song has gotten a little old, especially after a decade and it being on repeats. But within the context of the film, I think it's still fun and still really works. And I love the different renditions that they use of that song on the different locations, like the Western theme, the space theme, and the other locations. Pretty fun. Pretty fun.
Yeah, I think the Everything is Awesome is kind of the film's big legacy beyond just like all of the other films that have come out because of it.
Yeah.
But
This
like
was a
that's the
Tegan
thing
and
that I think
Sarah
of.
song?
Yes, featuring the Lonely Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The version in the film is sung by different people.
Right.
But yeah, they performed at the Oscars since it was in the only Oscar nomination for the Lego movie was for Everything is Awesome.
I will say I did not pay attention to most of the sound other than Everything is Awesome. So like that's where most of my thoughts on this section are.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that stands out the most. Also, like Batman's song, I like. Have
Yes.
you listened to the lyrics?
I think I have.
Okay, yeah. The lyrics are
One that he
darkness,
plays for
no
Wild Style.
parents,
Yeah.
super rich,
Yeah.
kind of makes it better.
Yeah.
Just very simple, but
I will say, okay, listening through Everything is Awesome, listening to the credits here, and this maybe is just Michigan of me, I was very much reminded of the Insane Clown Posse song Miracles. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
I have not heard that
All right,
one. No.
but it's sort of like How Does the World Work? We're Surrounded by Miracles is sort of, except if, of course, they do drop a couple of F-bombs because it's the Insane Clown Posse. But Blue Skies, Bouncy Strings, We Just Named Two Awesome Things, right? Like it's just like we're listing a bunch of things and taking joy in the world.
Yeah, it is interesting to me that, like, yeah, it is this song about positivity, but then in the film it is a representation of authoritarian control.
And then they like played it at the credits, and I was like, I don't know that this thematically works.
I think it's just like, it's one of those things where the song is just good enough on its own that you kind of have to kind of like Let It Go, where it just transcends the meaning that it has within the film.
I don't know. I feel like Let It Go like is additive. Like Let It Go is expressing such a particular emotion in the story of Frozen, and I don't know that Everything is Awesome is doing that.
Yeah, that
I think I would like this song more without the context of the Lego movie, to be completely honest. I think the song got really annoying really fast. And frankly, not everything is awesome in the world, even though I appreciate the optimism which the song is seeking to provide.
Though that is within the film itself, that is the irony of the song, is that it is the placebo, the thing that everyone is using to distract themselves from the fact that everything is not awesome. But then the song
with lines like dogs with fleas and allergies and like a bunch of other things. It's like, okay, yeah, that's not awesome, but also, I guess we'll gloss past that.
Also, I have no desire to dip my body in chocolate frosting and wash it off after 3 years.
That does sound terrible. I'll agree with that. Yeah.
It almost reminds me of the Pharrell song Happy, which will be
little
covering
bit,
the Pharrell Lego movie, but where he wrote that as like this song that is supposed to be a parody of itself, but that it becomes used unironically within the culture.
Well, and even like this being like a very corporate, like this is an advertisement movie, and the main song is like, hey, this is propaganda, but also it's just a good song, so please keep listening to it. It's like, this movie is a propaganda for Lego, but please keep watching it and buying our products because they're good.
And buy the single on iTunes.
It was certified platinum by RIAA on July 14th of 2017. So I'm now also realizing that because of the date that this movie came out, I probably it was probably a birthday celebration that I watched it in the theater for, like mine specifically. Like
That's
my birthday
exciting.
was like a week after this movie came out.
I love birthday movies.
Sorry, one of the genius questions is who wrote "Everything Is Awesome" by Tegan and Sarah, which is very funny.
I mean, that is a question.
It is a question. Like, it was written by a bunch of producers and songwriters, but it's very funny to be like, who made that song "Everything Is Awesome" by Tegan and Sarah?
I think the sound in general, just to move on. I mean, as John said, like the different renditions of "Everything Is Awesome" that play throughout the different genres is so good. Actually, this is something we didn't talk about, but one of my favorite jokes is Wild Style giving her speech, and then it's cutting to all of the different people watching on their TVs. Then it cuts to the Wild West, and they're listening to it on the radio.
Yes.
Then it cuts to medieval times, and
it's being
there's
read
a
off
guy
of
reading it out.
Yeah.
just that bit. Yeah, it is so good. But even like the laser noises are just people going pew pew pew.
Yes, because it's kids.
Yep.
Oh, and it makes like the guns feel less like guns.
Mm-hmm.
True, which I don't think was as big of a push at the time, but definitely like has since become a very big push to be like, yeah, these aren't guns, they're blasters.
Yeah,
they're
Yeah. Yeah, Lego has been thoughtful about how they approach that stuff.
Yeah.
More recently.
In terms of like the soundtrack, I've had it on repeat as we've been talking. And it's honestly, it's pretty good. I remember listening to an interview with Nathan First, who does the soundtrack for the original 3 Bionicle movies, but also for the Fast and Furious movies. And so he's got like a really cool like perspective on the industry. And he says that like he really loves doing kids movies a lot more because you get to be a lot more playful with it. You get to really like punch into the fun parts of a soundtrack. And I think this movie does it really well, where they have like different styles for like the like Middle Zealand area, the Western area, like all of these different areas have different styles to them. They also get to underlay a lot of like EDM, techno, dubstep onto like orchestral pieces, which is something that I love. And just like in general, this is like as much of like a Lego set or like a bin of Legos, which is like a conglomerate of pieces from a bunch of different places, is the soundtrack feels like it was put together like it was pieces on pieces. And I think that's super well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I really like the sound of the music in general. Even Everything Is Awesome. Like, it is a fun song. Also, they dubbed it in Spanish, which doesn't always happen. They don't always translate the songs when they do dubs. So in my heart, it will always be Todo es increíble. Any final thoughts on sound?
It was fine. That was my ranking out of 5. I gave it fine.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
And John, what was your score for the music?
I gave the music a 3.5, which leaves me with a total score of 19 out of 25, which is a 76%, or a 3.8 on our 5-star rating.
Yep, and I gave the music a 4 out of 5, which is a 20 out of 25, and 80%, or a 4 out of 5 stars.
Oh yeah, Sam already gave it a fine out of 5.
Yeah, I give it a fine out of 5.
I gave it a 3.75 because I'm being needlessly pedantic here. And also because it makes my numbers look a lot prettier. Solid sound. Not like I'm not going to listen to the soundtrack on its own aside from right now, but like it's good. That leaves me with like I think basically the same score as John with a 19 out of 25, which is a 76% or a 3.8 star rating.
I think something is wrong.
Oh, your
Sorry.
scores,
Yes, because I gave it
edited
a
them
fine out of 5. That takes
Yes.
it to a total of 12 and a half.
out of 20.
12 and a half out of 25.
Right.
Which is not in fact a 62.5%. Hold up, I can just change the thing here and make it fine. D6. No, D6 is correct. Okay, wait. If I just,
I mean, definitely the
Excel.
easiest way to do this would be
I
to just change
edited it
fine to a
as
number.
if you had
but
done not applicable for
Boo.
the last one.
It's fine.
Yeah, we don't need final scores. The
It's
scores
fine.
don't matter. The
Listen,
conversation matters more.
To be like, I know you think you've solved film criticism, Jay, but I think it's more subjective
I
than
don't-
this.
the scores are not meant to be an object. I am
Sure,
very
I
opposed
know.
to the idea that there is objectivity in art criticism or art appreciation in general. I think the scores are honestly at this point just for when we do our rankings at the end of the series.
Sure.
That we have,
Okay.
have a way to rank them, because we aren't necessarily going to go back and watch each one to be like, where does this one rank?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, keeping in theme of the Lego movie, you are going outside the bounds of the instructions to be creative and give
Yep.
a score that represents something more than a numerical value.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any
I
final
definitely
thoughts on-
intended all of that and wasn't just tired and didn't want to think about what the sound in this movie was like.
Oh.
Yeah, you're really the Emmett of this podcast, Sam.
Oh, don't put that on me. I don't like that.
The special.
Absolutely not.
You will say binging Barbie.
I don't have
the
enough
corporate
energy for a chosen one
overlords.
narrative, okay?
Yeah, any final thoughts on the Lego movie?
It was fun to revisit it. I don't think I'd like really watched it since this came out, so thank you for giving me this excuse to come on and talk about this movie.
Yeah, we love having you on.
Yeah, honestly, same. I don't know the last time I watched it. It might have been theaters. It's
Yeah,
a
I think
great
it might have
movie,
been
and
for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always held it fondly in my memories and stuff. But I do remember, and here's a very side tangent here. I remember the lead up to it. This is, mind you, 2014, 4 years after Bionicle died. I will be bringing up Bionicle every moment I can.
There is
yes.
listen. There is time AB after Bionicle,
Yeah,
and that's where we are now.
Absolutely.
It got confusing in there with the reboot, but
yeah, definitely changes up how you see time with that one. But specifically in this, I remember being in a bunch of like Bionicle forums, or specifically Facebook groups was the big thing for a lot of the Bionicle community at the time. And a lot of discussion about, is Bionicle going to be in the Lego movie? Is that how they're announcing that they're bringing Bionicle back?
This is the most like secret 4th episode of Sherlock stuff I've heard in a long time.
Yup. And it was just like so many conspiracy theories about how it will or how it won't be in there, and da 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 da. And then finally, like, I got around to seeing it, and I saw that one frame. And at that point, it's been 4 years since we got anything Bionicle related. I was grasping for straws. I was so excited that you mentioned it. And then like a year later, they came out with the reboot, and I was like, oh,
this is fine.
I think I'm too old for this now.
Yeah. I worked at a summer camp, summer 2020. So like specifically, we knew COVID was like transmitted via like air at that time, but we didn't have a vaccine yet. Just in the timeline of COVID things. And so one of the things that like was part of the camp programming was like after lunch, we had sort of this quiet time where campers would just sort of sit and digest and rest for a little bit. And counselors would like put on a skit or like do some sort of activity to like keep the kids entertained for a little bit. And one of the activities that like became a hit this year was just playing Where Are My Pants? By which I mean a counselor would get up in front of all of the campers and go, hey, other counselor, where are my pants? And then all the counselors would like pull up water bottles or like random objects and bring it to the first person, and they would just be like, these aren't my pants. And they just we would just kill time like that for like a good 15 minutes. And at the end they would just be like, oh yeah, these are my pants. And so like I did not enjoy like that part of the like when I watched the Lego movie for the first time as a kid, I was like, oh yeah, this is for the people younger than me who need something to laugh at. But I do like it. This does now have a fond place in my heart because of that fun time. Like, and even at camp, like I would watch the counselors do that. And, you know, I was like going into my senior year of college, and these are a lot of like people going into their freshman year of college. I was just like, this is stupid. There's nothing here. But it entertained the campers and everyone had fun. And now it has a fond place in my memory. And I do appreciate this movie for that weird experience that I've had in my life.
Yeah, I think that's a very smart way to look at, I mean, just the film in general as this artifact that maybe some people have grown beyond.
Like Lego.
I still enjoy this a lot. Yeah, although Lego has been tried to grow up with the people who played with it as kids. That's a
well, I think
bigger
that's also the
discussion.
like interesting thing about Lego is like, yeah, now there's a bunch of Legos out there and people are building their own stuff with it, and so they're not going to be buying as much product, right? Like,
yeah,
true.
I don't know if that's why they've like grown up, but
I think they've grown up because Lego identified a demo. I think in general, toys have the problem of phones are a thing now.
Yeah.
And kids like phones.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to hold on to the people who played with toys when they were kids.
This is why we need to bring back Lego Universe. What was it? The Lego Quest?
Yeah. The amiibo with Lego.
Yeah. Oh, no, not that one. The like MMO.
Oh, I know. I remember this one because I was really excited about it. Side tangent on this one. I thought that game was going to be free to play. And then it came out and it cost. And then I heard another rumor online through the Facebook
Lego Universe
groups I was a part of that if you play a certain mini game enough times, you'll unlock the free
also
version
heard
of the
that
game.
rumor. Yeah.
And so I got really good at slide puzzles and then found out that it did not matter.
I think I got the free trial like just like in the months before the servers shut down, and that was a bummer. But then there was like a fan server that ran for like a while. But anyway, Lego Universe, what a fun artifact.
Anyway, thank you everyone for listening, and make sure to follow us on social media. We're Binging Barbie Podcast on Instagram and Tumblr, Binging Barbie on Blue Sky and Zero Lives, and Binging Barbie, a Barbie movie podcast on Letterboxd. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a 5-star review and go to our Patreon at patreon.com/Binging Barbie Podcast. Toa, where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube at youtube.com/Toa Legend. I also stream weekly on twitch.tv/Toa Legend. I don't know if you'll find an upload from me in the next by the time this is released, but maybe. I don't upload a lot, but I hope to be.
Yeah, and we'll put links in the description.
And Sam, where can people find you?
You can find me on the podcast Serious Business, where we talk about Homestuck, although that may have wrapped up by the time that this is coming out. I'm not exactly sure. I have one episode in the bin to edit and probably 2 more to record. And I'm really just weirded out by the fact that this thing that I've been doing with 2 of my best friends for the past 4 years is coming to an end, and I don't know what's coming next. So please... if you've been waiting to get into Homestuck for some reason, you can go listen to Serious Business I would say a great starting point is the Supernatural episode, one-off that we did. That was so much fun. Jay was on an episode and we talked about Infinity Train, and that was also a lot of fun, if a little long. And just generally, we hang out, we talk about Homestuck, we taste test different flavors of Faygo, and just do queer media analysis, and it's a lot of fun. So
Yeah, links to that stuff will also be in the description.
yeah.
All right, we will be back next week to talk about the Lego Batman movie. And until then, podcasting, banter. Is this working?
Yes.
Taco Tuesday! Goodbye! Bye-bye!
I should have had
Bye,
tacos
Barbie.
for dinner.
So true.
It's Tuesday.
We could have been recording this on Cinco de Mayo too.
Special!
Man.